Let's see. Are we feeding out to the folks? I believe that we are feeding out to the folks right now as we speak. Okay. First thing I want to remind everyone out there, make sure you go to hankstrange.com, sign up for our email list over there, look around the website. Lola's been working on it, trying to sort it out, trying to make it better. But you can find Lola's deals on there, or daily deals, and that Lola's posting. You can also find a link to U.S. Law Shield that I remind everyone, if you want to be able to protect yourself and then defend yourself legally in the courts, you might want to get up on something like U.S. Law Shield. And if you do a yearly membership, you can save some money. A couple of shekels comes to us. We appreciate it. You'll find that link on hankstrange.com, as well as in the chat. I'm showing it right now. If you're watching this, if you're listening, you're going to have to go to hankstrange.com. That being said, here, I think we're about to kick into this. We will have Matthew Larosiere joining us here in a couple of minutes. I heard through the grapevine he'll be a little bit late. I want to send a big shout out to TUSC Firearms Crypto. I've got something really cool that we talked about last week to show you guys, to show you all here. I'll put Walter up. There he goes. Walther Keller's joining me right now. Don't forget to smash those thumbs ups and ring the bells. Let's actually do the open. Let's do the open first.
Welcome back to the Hank Strange
Guys,
situation.
thanks for joining us. Don't forget to hit that
Lifestyles
subscribe
of
button,
moving.
smash those thumbs ups, ring the bell, Walter, ring the bell. Oh boy, I wonder if there's people listening while turning down their stereos in their cars at the beginning of this when we ring the bell. Yeah, absolutely. All right, listen, everyone watching, listening out there, make sure you smash the thumbs ups. Ring the bells, as I've already said. This is episode 812 of the Who Moved My Freedom podcast. I am your host, Hank Strange. Joining me is Walther Keller of Safety Harbor Firearms. Joining us here in a few minutes will be Matthew Larosiere of Fuddbusters. Let's do the jazz hands, Walt. Let's get the jazz hands going. There we go. Big shout out to TUSC Firearms Crypto right out there. Yes, I hope you guys have your big girl panties on. It's not Monday, it's Tuesday. Right?
Terrible Tuesday. Yeah.
How was your Labor Day? How was your Labor Day, Walt?
Peaceful. Didn't really do anything. I went to the shop every day and messed around with stuff at my shop. So,
Okay.
So my mother-in-law's in town. She came back with us from New Orleans. So Peggy's been hanging out with her, and so I just kind of get out of their way and I go to the shop and mess with stuff over there. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
How's that? How's your statue coming along? Yeah. What's the plans?
Oh dear.
Yeah. Did you? They don't know about that, right?
I didn't.
Peggy, yeah. Yeah, let's keep it that way. Let's keep Peggy not knowing.
Oh, she knows about it.
Uh-oh. Oh.
She heard you talking about it.
Oh, she did?
I think so, yes.
Oh, okay.
I'd hate to get my statue torn down like
right.
Some poor Confederate soldier
man.
statue. You know what I'm saying?
That will be your luck.
That will be your luck. We have to booby trap that statue. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Shooting Gallery NE's out there. He says, "What's crack-a-lackin'?" Shout out to Shooting Gallery NE out there. I see Appalachian Gun Runner. Shout out to everyone out there. Let me see who. YNH. I see a whole bunch of different people. LV Louis Cipher. We'll get into this while we're waiting for Matthew Larosiere here. LV Louis Cipher says, "Still dealing with the quandary of my next vehicle, a Jeep, or a Toyota RAV4 Prime. You can pretty much use plug-in hybrid, etc. What is this? On-demand backup generator or power bank? Interesting. That's LV Louis Cipher. He's looking for his next ride. What would you suggest? I don't know about the RAV4 Prime. I need to look that up.
No, I don't know anything about it. So
yeah, RAV4 Prime.
Not your guy on that one.
Yeah, I mean, you can always just get a generator, but
don't get caught up in too many gizmos, because once those gizmos start to break, I don't know.
So you're saying it's like a combo VCR DVD type of deal?
I guess.
Yeah, right. The RAV4 Prime doesn't look too bad. Let's see. Here it goes. What do you think? That's not too bad looking.
Yeah, it looks
Yeah.
like a car.
Yeah,
It's
I'm not sure how capable it is off road. I don't know how much off road.
they're not designed for going off road. They're designed for going in challenging on road situations. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, it really depends how much off roading he's planning on doing out there. I actually like this white I like the white color better. If I had to, it looks pretty good.
I'd probably get white over that other color.
Yeah. So far as the Jeep, I mean, Jeep is always a good thing. Isn't there supposed to be an electric Jeep coming out? Or is it out already? I can't remember if it's out or not yet. You know what might be a good deal, and I'm not sure when this is going to be available? The Ford F-150 Lightning.
Let me guess. It's electric.
It's electric, but it also has a lot of power stuff on it, and you can run it as a power bank if you want to, as LV Louis Cypher is saying out there. And I've seen it. It's pretty big. It has a huge front. So you can open up that front and have you can barbecue grills and ice buckets and all kinds of stuff in the front of it, and then obviously you have the big pickup truck thing in the back. And it's going to be all-wheel drive and all that kind of stuff. So, full-time all-wheel drive.
Just hope you don't need no chips for all those electronics. You know what I'm saying? See, the more gizmos and the more boards and the more I don't know, man.
Well, see, that's our fault, man. That's our fault in America. We don't make any frickin' chips in America.
If you want your truck to be a truck, or do you want your truck to be a car?
Yeah.
I mean, whatever, whatever.
It depends. It depends on really what you want to do. I think pickup trucks are pretty versatile. I don't have one right now. I've had them in the past. They're pretty versatile.
If I need a generator, I'll just throw a generator in the back of the pickup truck.
Yeah. But it doesn't. So I remember when. By the way, shout out to Hootie Hoo. I see Hootie Hoo out there. Woo-hoo! Shout out to Hootie Hoo. I remember that when Tesla first came out, you could use your Tesla to power your house, but a lot of people didn't use that feature.
Well, let's just say this. Okay, to use your Tesla to power your house,
temporarily, not forever, obviously.
Yeah, like in New Orleans, when there was no power for a few days, you better use your power sparingly.
Well, see, this is the problem. If you really run into a big emergency, do you want to? So there's no power, there's no gas. It's a cool thing to have an electric car when there's no gas. But if you use all the power and then there's no electricity,
you are SOL.
Yeah, you can't get out. You can always use the mileage that you have to drive out of Louisiana.
You can't siphon the gas out of your car to run your generator because you got no gas.
Yeah.
No, but we were thinking about that when we were in New Orleans with this. Like, what if you got an electric car here and there's no power? It's like, and you didn't plan for nothing, which 3/4 of people didn't plan for nothing.
Yeah, but if you have a generator, you could kick off. If you have like a big generator, you could kick that on and charge it up.
Sure, you could, but
you could drive her for a couple of days. Like the Model Y that Lola has close to a 300-mile range.
Yeah,
that's a couple of days right there driving around.
I'm just thinking ahead of time when the poors get them. You know what's going to happen when the poors get them.
Well,
you know what's going to happen.
When everyone starts driving electric cars, it's going to be an issue of where we're getting the power from. But I don't know.
And you're no better than you were in the beginning because you're using this anyways.
Yeah, you might want to have alternate sources of power.
You might want to go back to that good old thing called internal combustion.
Yeah,
and have a generator, because your solar panels aren't going to charge your electric car up.
Yeah,
not with any efficiency. No.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, everyone in America should have a second car. Don't make all your cars electric.
No, keep one real simple.
Yeah. Night Train, by the way, says... Oh, hold on a second. I think Matt is joining us. So let's let him in here. Night Train says, I bought my RAV4 bone stock, nothing but the basics, and I'm good with that. So there we go. Let's see if we can get Matthew Larosiere here. I'm gonna make you the vanilla filling in our Oreo, Walt.
Oh, I'm the creamy white middle.
Okay.
Whatever. Take that.
We're not taste testing or anything, but You-
Why
you
not?
can-
Color-wise,
oh,
color-wise.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
little
Matthew.
lighter than you
Matt
think.
has a different perspective on that.
Yeah. Where's the taste test?
No thanks. Definitely don't.
Oh no.
I don't want to taste test Walter. No thanks.
Why?
It's gonna be. Let's see. How can you put a flavor on curmudgeon-y? What would curmudgeon-y taste like?
The
Yeah, they
umami?
put a flavor on this. Sour. That's what.
Yeah.
Sour.
Oh, yeah. Well, pretty much. I don't know why my all of a sudden my camera went out of focus. There we go. See. No. I gotta lock
I put
it
the
in.
mojo on it because you were giving me a ration.
You put the heebie-jeebies on me. Okay, there we go. So listen, Walter Keller, Matthew Larosiere, Fuddbusters. I don't think you guys have ever met.
No, we
I don't
haven't.
know. Have you guys met? No.
No, but I've
don't
bought
believe
stuff
so.
from you.
Uh-oh.
Sten parts?
I buy a lot of that, yeah.
Oh, just nod. Just wink. You can wink, or you can
Yeah.
just shake your head a certain way. Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah,
Thank
we have an 07 here in Palm Beach, so I've
you.
got a lot of got a
Oh.
lot of little parties from you. I like that
Fun
you're
then.
lasering the template right onto the mill scale now. That's pretty
Oh,
slick.
you like that better? Okay. Well,
Oh,
course.
look at this, Matt. Matt's coming.
yeah. I'll have to
Oh,
tell my son.
He's not
'cause the
just
one
saying
that
it.
does all
Yeah. Are you actually lasering it now, Walter? I didn't even know
Yeah,
that.
we've
Oh.
been doing that for a while now.
Oh, you used to do the old like tobacco
Roll them.
roll, yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I'm not. I don't roll my own that way, but I could definitely roll some templates. That's for sure.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
must
And
have
it's
been
funny-
really hard keeping them straight.
Oh, it's so. Everybody in my shop has tried it, and it doesn't work.
Yeah.
It
I've
does.
seen him do it. He's like one of those old Cuban dudes rolling up cigars. Yeah, it's magical. I'm like, how the hell are you doing that every time? Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it never mattered much to me because, I would just use the back end of it and then plunge the mill in it and then just tell the machine, all right, go straight now. So,
Yeah, well, we have a program for stent tubes if I want to make some post samples, and yeah, it's so much easier. Yeah,
oh, you just stick it in a fourth axis and just let it go?
yeah,
There you
it'll gotta go.
Yeah. Have you ever been invited to Safety Harbor Firearms, Matt?
No,
Wow.
what a travesty. Can you believe
To
that?
the facility? Yeah, Walter. What's the matter with you?
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
You know?
It's really not much to see, to be quite honest with you. But
Oh, there's a lot. There's a lot to see over there.
okay, well,
Yeah.
I guess I'm jaded. That's what it is.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
You never know. Matt might be interested in getting into the mini bike game.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, mini bikes.
Yeah.
I also do military vehicles too. So
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Matt is into a whole bunch of different stuff, which we've talked about before. He's into cars, all kinds
It's
of
the
things.
bigger bikes.
Yeah, the bigger
Yes, yeah.
bikes. Yeah. Yeah. You would look great on a little mini bike, Matt.
I don't know if we could fit me on it.
Oh, trust me, if I can get on there, you can get on there. Yeah. If me and Walter, all of us can get on there. By the way, shout out to Swamp Dog Armory out there. And I also see Ken from K&M Arms out there. Shout out to everyone who's joining us. Matt, what's going on with you, man? It's been a little while here. I haven't seen you.
Oh, yeah, man. It's good to see you. Geez, all kinds of stuff. The ATF keeps playing their little games, and I try to keep people in the loop and try my
Yeah.
best to fight it.
Yeah, it's been this year, man, it's been a little crazy. Maybe the last 2 years, I think, has been a little insane. You know?
It's been a bit nutty.
Yeah, and I don't know if there's any signs of it ever, ending. So
probably not.
Not in the foreseeable future.
yeah,
I mean, you never say never, right?
Mhm.
But
Right.
it could happen. Things
Yeah.
could get better.
yeah. Let's see here. So, what have you guys been talking about? Usually it's you and Sean on Fuddbusters, right?
Sean and I do This Week in Guns.
Oh,
Yeah,
who's on Fuddbusters with you?
It's just me.
Oh, it's just you,
It's just me and my gun wall.
just by
And,
yourself.
yeah, you can see my gun wall. I had it all set up because the last episode I did
Oh.
was on the Russian ammo ban.
Oh,
And
okay.
so I
Ah.
made sure to
Oh.
cover it. And
Oh, so this is all. Let's see. I'm seeing
Where's the talk
this.
rope?
Yeah, Walter's into a lot of this stuff, which I don't know. You know, all the
we've got
Makarov, Tokarov,
yeah,
you know,
Togrov
Slukarov.
VZ52 or CZ52, a Hungarian AK-47, a Crank,
Yeah.
a
We need some more
CZ83.
light on those bad boys.
SKS.
Okay,
Yeah, yeah. Oh, there we go. Here we go. Oh, look at this.
Yep.
Fancy
Any of
light.
this,
Okay.
yeah. And then I got tired. I stopped.
Stop throwing things up there.
Yeah.
So what is I don't know if Walter has any questions. This would be more of Walter's expertise than mine. What's your take on the whole Russian thing? If you can give us, people need to go look at Fuddbusters, obviously, or listen.
Yeah.
Um,
So you're asking my take?
Yeah.
So this is it's interesting because it's not the usual ammo ban we get, which is just under, you know, they usually make very aggressive and tortured interpretations of what armor piercing is, or just put another country on the prohibited entity list, you know, the prohibited list, or put additional factories on the prohibited entity list. Like that's what we were dealing with when we saw 545 become impossible to get. That's what we were dealing with a long time ago when Chinese ammo stopped coming in and everyone thought that AK ammo was going to go extinct because of that. Well, you know, it turned out to be a little better than that. This is a little bit different in that it's under the, as I'm sure you guys have all read about by now, the, you know, chemical weapon, the Chemical Warfare Udict or something Act. So when another country engages in chemical warfare, which includes poisoning, the president must engage in 3 actions. And there are a bunch of different actions that can be engaged in. And of course, one of them is additional import restrictions from that country.
Okay.
And you can pick whatever industry you want.
Right.
And, you know, so I'm sure that they just picked it right out of a hat, and it had nothing to do with a failed gun control agenda.
No.
You know, so they just picked a random industry.
Yeah, of course. Absolutely. Yeah.
They didn't do anything, and I think that was during Obama. They didn't do anything the first time that the other Russian political guy was poisoned.
Yeah, isn't that funny? Especially because the act's from 1991, and this happened in 2019. This poisoning.
And they didn't do anything. So yeah, this is just like an excuse, is all it is.
It's a total excuse, and of course, like and I mean, like you have to line up your dots, right? So the thing that I am kind of, you know, my conspiracy theory here is that they were noticing that members of their own party were in droves going and becoming gun owners, right? And one of the only things that was keeping people, because, you know, we've got a shop here, one of the only things that was still keeping people from becoming gun owners was, during all of this chaos, the price of ammunition. Because oftentimes you'd go to a gun shop, you know, like maybe 6 months ago, you couldn't even, like, I know that my buddy who works still at Moss Pawn and Guns, he was giving out like dime bags of ammunition to fill a mag with the gun that you'd get, right? And you'd have to buy, right? And so then nature starts healing itself, and there's only really one plant where just all day, every day, they're getting trains of raw materials and then trains of ammunition coming out, and that's, you know, really Tula is a big one, and it's in large part to Tula that the price of ammunition was getting to be more reasonable. So, you know, kind of putting two and two together when they're like, hey, people in our party are buying guns, and it's now becoming actually reasonable to practice with them and you know, get skilled. And then, you know, I'm sure that some like high functioning alcoholic 27-year-old aide went, hey, did you know that there's this law and you know, we can put a random sanction on that. It's like, that's what I'm, you know, just from my time living in DC, that's how I imagine that went down.
Yeah. Plus the timing of everything, like with what was going on in Afghanistan. So are you saying that they made like Russian ammo like conflict diamonds? I don't know. That's just that popped in my head. I don't know if that makes any kind of sense, but
I mean, it seems like you know, the real thing that's going to be affected now. You know, there's 545 production in Ukraine. There's 545 stuff outside, and I'm sure we're going to see a lot of ammunition suddenly made in Ukraine over the next year, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, because Biden's on the take from Ukraine. That's why.
Well, and you know, there's several factors. There's several factors there, right? But you know what? I think
I sense a new job for Hunter. A new job for Hunter.
Yeah.
You know, maybe he can be the next one where the Russian prostitutes are peeing on him. You know, come on.
Neat.
Yeah.
But yeah, the thing that I think is really going to get screwed up is, probably 545 for a while. But like, we were just now seeing 9x39 come in. No one else is making that crap, right? Like I think 9x39 is going to be screwed up for quite some time.
Do you agree with that, Walt? I see you looking at the ceiling.
Well, my other take on the whole pandemic ammo thing was a lot of this is being driven by the fact the government was handing out money. So I don't know about you, but if I didn't need that money, $1,000 to buy ammo is like, I don't care what it costs. I just need some ammo. Right? I mean, you know, and a lot of these newbies that have gotten into the gun thing, they didn't know any difference when that 1,000 rounds was $135 or whether it was $635. They didn't care. They just need it. And when you have that $1,200 or $1,400 check that Uncle Sam or Uncle Joe just gave you, you're going to go out and spend it. So in my business, soon as the money from the checks dried up, which it has now, the phone has gotten quiet.
Okay.
People aren't calling, people aren't emailing like they were before. Sten Parts is a fine example. As soon as they handed out checks, I was buying 400 feet of tubing a week to make Sten tubes out of. And that's the honest God truth. That's
I mean, I know I visited you guys and the phone just wouldn't stop ringing. I was like, geez.
Yeah. And but as soon as now that money's dried up, now we're talking about handing out some more. You watch, as soon as they hand money out, the TVs will start moving at Walmart, and the freaking phone will start ringing, and people will start ordering Sten parts.
Do we know how many people? So in all these new gun buyers and everything that's going on, right? Just to go back to Matt's theory here, that maybe folks on the other side are starting to get these things, right? That's what you're saying, right, Matt?
Oh yeah, well it's for sure. You know, it's 100% for sure. If you ask me, 100% for sure.
No, I'm not arguing that. I think there's a lot of the new buyers are people who got freaked out on the other side. Yeah. But do we know how many AKs and things like that they were actually getting into?
Well, but so now you're hold on. That's not most of the stuff. Okay. That's not most of the stuff that they were importing.
Okay.
Right?
What were they?
It wasn't mostly 5.45 and 7.62 by 39. They're cranking out 308 and 5.56 like nobody's business.
Okay.
You know, because they make billions of rounds a year. And you know, the US is like, there's like 20 to 30% of their market share. They're paying attention to what we shoot here.
Okay, and that's kicked up in the last like 10 years or something, probably, right? That they've started doing more 5.56, 308 and stuff, or that's been going on for longer than that.
No, it's more recent. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
I mean, they went ahead, and it's interesting because you'll see. And I'm sure, Walt, you know, I'm sure you were super entertained to see boxer primed steel cased 5.56 coming in. Were
you buy 5.56? Really? Steel case?
Yeah, no. A lot of that Tula stuff, it's boxer primed, but it's a steel case, and it's just like,
what's the point? Yeah, I mean, I don't know what the point of that is. I mean, yes, in a pinch you could reload it if you had a strong enough press to resize it and everything, but. We're not in that situation, so not yet.
That's a lot of the stuff. You see, a lot of the Western calibers that they bring in are boxer prime.
Well,
I'd never paid attention to that. It's a good point.
I hadn't seen that either. I didn't notice that. So
no, and then because about 10 years ago, Tula started exporting boxer primers. You know, and I remember those were like, you know, that was $25 a case.
Oh, for primers themselves.
Right, but a lot of the steel-cased ammunition at that same time, I was noticing, because I guess I'm weird. I pick them up and I look at them, right?
Yes, you're definitely weird. I mean, that's, you know, not in a bad way.
Well, no, because I was like, is this Burdan Prime 5.56? Like, I wonder, and I looked at it, it's like, heck, it's not, you know?
Yeah. trying to think.
What it makes me think is that they were just like, Americans want this stuff. Get us drawings of the 5.56 case. It's like, here you go. Okay, make that.
there's an international market for all that stuff too.
Right. And of course that's most of their sales.
You know, we've been fucking around in the Middle East for 20 years now, and instead of like us in Iraq or us in Afghanistan, instead of just recycling the ammo they pick up and give them back to them, we got to buy brand new ammo.
Yeah.
So they make these deals with like Tula and the Russians and everything else to supply the ammo, or the Bulgarians or the Romanians or whatever.
Yep.
Instead of just reusing the stuff they find by the tons over there. So.
Well, that's why the Romanians are cranking out 8mm like crazy, because all over the Middle East you got tons of 8mm weapons.
Yeah,
Romania's not really using that anymore.
No, they don't use. They got that. No, I mean they don't. No, they don't have anything 8mm. The Yugoslavians or the Serbs now. The Serbs produce a lot of ammunition too. So it's not that there's a shortage of ammunition in the world. Yeah, exactly. But it's there's no shortage of ammunition. It's just our country, which is the problem.
So this is going to put an end to all poisoning of dissidents, you think? This is it. The Russians will never poison another dissident.
The Russians got so much Russian. Yeah, they got so much Russian isotope stuff. They could.
Oh man, yeah.
You know, what
that's the worst way to go.
Nuclear.
Is when they interviewed the guy. There was a New York Times. I don't remember where it was. I read it, and I quoted it in the Fuddbusters episode. You know, and I was like, and we know how effective this was because when we asked the guy that was poisoned, his response was, "What? No, what are you doing? Don't do that."
Oh, really?
Like, the victim of poisoning was like, "Don't sanction Russia, you idiot." Look, even with all these sanctions, all of the yachts, all of the billions of dollars in Western bank accounts are still there, you know? And he's saying you could put more specific sanctions on Putin's buddies, right? And their corporations, their organizations, but you're not. You're just punishing the American people and Russian business that are not related, not really related.
Yeah, because one of the things they did was the whole Kalashnikov concern. You know, anything that was made with the Kalashnikov concern was banned. So
there went those hunters.
Yeah. Pewtang Clan is asking me. Pewtang Clan says slide Matt into the middle for a minute, Hank. Okay, let me see here. Hold on. We will abide, but I don't know why. Some kind of meme is getting created here. I don't know what is the meaning of it. I don't know. You better put your good face on. I'm not really sure why we're sliding Matt into the middle, but I
always get worried that I left something on my wall.
Oh, let's see. Oh, something that's not supposed to be up there.
One time I left something up there that was somewhat embarrassing.
I would. What would that be?
Like some double D things or something.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was thinking. Some panties got left. Like, what the hell?
I'm not telling.
Just hanging off of one of the barrels.
It was go back to the
archives.
Some big Russian panties.
Well, the Brita has a very flat top, so sometimes I put things on the Brita.
Oh, okay. All right, there we go.
So yeah, Walter, when do I get to look at the Sten parts factory?
Once again, it's really not that exciting. I have numerous Sten guns. I have, but it's.
He's not inviting me, Hank. He's being mean.
You are invited. Just show up over there.
Come by any time you like.
Yeah.
Just
all right, I'm gonna.
I invited you. That's all. Yeah. That's all that counts. So you can go over there.
Sten guns too. I like Sten guns. I do.
Oh, Sten guns are awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. People don't. You know what? People are ridiculous. You know, they. It's just like, well, you know, I've got a Shosha on the wall, right? So I'm all about guns that are that people have misconceptions about, but like. I will shoot a Sten gun all day over an MP40, you know, like it just feels much more stable and sturdy. I'll shoot a Sten gun over an Uzi all day.
Yeah, Uzi's super reliable and works all the time, but it's like
but it feels like shit.
The micro is it the micro Uzi that's like the saw?
He had the micro over there.
I love the micro. The micro Uzi. But
awesome. What I wouldn't take. What I would not take, what I will take over a Sten gun every time is a Sterling. I will take a Sterling every time.
No, it's higher up the food chain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Integrally. Do you have an integrally suppressed one?
So I have one. I have a Sterling that I made a custom. It's a transferable Sterling, and I made a custom end cap to wear. And you saw this one actually. You can take off the bayonet mount, and then you can put a suppressor on. And I have the suppressor that lines up exactly with the receiver.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay, Walt, you probably know more about that than I do.
Yeah, yeah. It just looks all one straight tube off the front.
Yeah, that's what I like. I love that integrally suppressed one. Just chug.
Yeah.
You know.
That's kind of what I did with that with one of my Mark II Stens, and I made a short barrel, and if you screw the Liberty suppressor on the end, it just kind of continues out the front. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's slick. It's slick.
Yeah.
It's better than the ones that like the Stens that were integrally suppressed and you can't hold it.
Right.
You know, after 5 rounds you can't hold it anymore.
Oh, okay. So hot. Yeah.
Without your asbestos mitten.
Yeah. Sounds like a good. Well, aren't you supposed to be holding it from the magazine thing?
No.
No.
Not supposed
You don't want to put too much.
They gave you an asbestos thing for it.
Oh, they did. Oh, like a wrap. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, that's true. I've seen that in the pictures. Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh. That's true.
Yep.
Go ahead, Walt. What was the question?
I was going to say Liberty suppressors. I'm having a brain fart. What's David? David has his his wrap thing that laces on for his suppressors.
Yeah.
It's not made out of asbestos, but it's
in the olden days. If you
I've
really
got
want to
a
be classic.
one.
Yeah, if you
'Cause
really
I've
want
got my first sorry.
No, go ahead.
My first gun that I built in my garage was a semi-auto closed bolt Sten Mark II, and I had to put a 16-inch barrel on it. So I made it a fake integrally suppressed one, and I got one of the lace-up, things on there.
Yeah.
And it's really
That's
dreadful. It gets in the way of your sights and it slips. It's just really dreadful.
Yeah. We should all. I just thought of this, and I'm gonna get some of the comments and stuff like that coming in. But it would make a great video for us to do since we got the lawyer here. We got the firearms lawyer.
Where?
Okay, you. I never miss an opportunity to get free legal advice from a lawyer because I know lawyers love that.
Yeah.
Like, lawyers live for giving out.
You're both in Florida, so I wouldn't get in trouble if I did accidentally give you legal advice.
But it would be. I think it would be interesting to have that conversation about the legalities of Stens. Like, what can you do? What can you not do? How can you do what you do?
And there's so much BS there, and it really ticks me off.
It's like a minefield. Whenever I have that conversation with Walter, like, because I'm Walt, how come we don't do more Sten videos? And he's like, I don't know.
Well, I mean, we can do all the videos we want.
Out.
Oh, you mean as how to make it and how to do that stuff?
Yeah.
I've always wanted to kind of do a how to make a Sten gun thing. You won't get any views.
It'll be banned. It'll put us. We'll be even more blocked on YouTube, but it'll be fun. We can get Matt involved in that.
Well, no, you don't. So you don't call it how to make a Sten gun. You call it touring a Sten factory. And then it just slides right through. There's all kinds of videos like that where it's like, and now we're going to use this 3 Sten mill, and we're going to put it here, and look.
And we'll throw in some little parts of video of the old lady, the young ladies in World War II in the English factories putting together.
With their stick welders.
Yeah, we should do something on that since you guys are both into it. I think that'll be.
You ever seen the pictures of when they brought the Sten guns out of the factory? They had like a pickup truck bed that was set up with all the racks. They stacked all the guns up inside this truck bed.
Really,
it
was pretty slick.
Oh, where are those pictures?
Thought of recreating that?
Oh my gosh, that'll be a lot of Stens.
Well, it wouldn't have been that hard. Like a couple years ago, the parts kits were like $60.
Yeah, not
Now
anymore.
that's
They're
changed.
trying to
change so fast.
They're trying to ban the parts kits now too. So
yeah,
and they tried it, and then they did that nonsense with the Mark V's, where all of a sudden the trunnion's part of the receiver. Give me a break.
Yeah, trunnion's not the receiver. That's
but then all of a sudden ATF's like, no, if it's a Mark V, you gotta do that. Like,
so what are the
there's a lot of FUD lore on the import side too. There's a lot of like utter nonsense that people.
So this would be a good thing, Matt. Just tell us here. How should someone think about this if they want to make a Sten gun? What do they need to know? what are the myths? What are the myths that you can bust about Sten guns, and or is it too complicated? Do you
So,
think?
well, like, I mean, it's, and I don't know, like, how into, doing garage machine work your audience is, right? But that's where it goes down, is you'll see people arguing on, these forums or whatever the hell about how, oh, no, you need to use a reduced diameter tube, and you need to have it to where there's a time release, locking mechanism to where only your thumbprint can take the bolt out. Otherwise, ATF's going to say it's a machine gun, and it like the cocking handle has to be at a different. It's all just nonsense. It's all made up. But and it's interesting because the Sten gun is the source of the myth that open bolt semi-autos are illegal. Because a while ago, I think it was it Catco or it was some other company wanted to market a semi-auto open bolt Sten, and they were literally just welding the selector in semi.
That was done.
I don't know if it
that
was
was done. That was done a long.
Yeah,
that was done a long time ago. Yeah.
Yeah, it was in the early '80s, and they went to ATF to ask for, to say, hey, what do you think? And ATF was like, ATF said, no, because this is just a machine gun that you've locked into semi-auto. So it's not that it presently will shoot full auto, it's that it was designed to shoot full auto. Nowhere in the ruling did it say that it's because it was open bolt. No, in fact, they mentioned other components of the guns many more times than open bolt. But it was the fact that it was literally just a machine gun that if you spent 5 minutes with a, file or do a single pass of a milling cutter, it's immediately just a completely reliable, fully automatic machine gun again.
Okay,
And so that turned into people. It went from, hey, this gun you're trying to sell is literally just a machine gun that you welded into semi-auto, to all the forum dwellers going, oh, well, that means you need to do X, Y, and Z. Oh, and also means that all open bolt semi-automatic guns are banned because they're machine guns. And it's like, hold on, there's something in the between there, right?
Yeah. So I'm a little confused in there, Walt. You might have to bring me up to speed. How does that work exactly, that it's semi-auto open bolt, first of all? Just so I could three-dimensionally figure that in my brain.
The open bolt semi-auto went away with the Mac 10.
That's okay.
Early 80s. The Mac 10 was. I used to have one. It was an open bolt semi-auto. Too many people, easy to convert. It was a thing of the drug people.
Yeah,
you're doing it.
And
you're doing it. You're making things up.
So let's explain that for the people. This is a good opportunity.
I'm not making that up.
Cite the law. You are making that up. Cite the law. Cite the ruling. Tell me where it is. Tell me where it happened.
Let me just
I'll give
say
you
this.
$1,000 if you can tell me legally where it says that. I will give you $1,000.
Let me just say this: if you make an open bolt semi-auto from scratch, you are going to get a visit, and there's going to be no getting out of it. No.
I will give you $1,000 if you give me any support for your contention.
So obviously this is a big myth, Matt. So let's where did this, or maybe it's not a myth, but obviously we can argue about it. So let's find out from Walter. Walter, where did this come from? Like, how long have you what's your history looking at this kind of stuff versus what Matt, like being a lawyer and spending a lot of time looking at this stuff?
I remember when the whole Mac 10 thing happened. They deemed them machine guns. Anything with an open bolt was considered a machine gun, period. Boom,
show me.
Done. If it was manufactured after that date.
Wrong.
Which is,
wrong. They can't do that. They cannot do that. They never said that, and everyone repeats this. So, I will give you some grace, though. If you take a parts kit that's a machine gun and weld it up...
machine gun, always machine gun.
Okay, no, stop. No, that's not true, because once the receiver's gone, the machine gun's gone. Okay? But I'm going to tell you, I'm going to give you some grace. If you take a parts kit, a machine gun parts kit, you don't change anything. You weld it back up and you weld the selector closed, or you do something to where you can't move it from full auto, that's going to be a machine gun. Okay? That's still going to be a machine gun. But it's not for what you're saying. It's because that weapon, when you haven't changed anything, right, when it's still got the same trigger group, when everything's still the same, was designed to shoot automatically.
Once a machine gun, always a machine.
Okay, you're saying that again, and you're
Well,
you're
technically,
wrong.
that
Okay,
wouldn't
so-
that wouldn't be.
You
That
just
doesn't
you
apply
just
at all.
said what I you just said
The
what I
gun is-
said. It was designed to be a machine gun. You welded it back together. It's still a machine gun.
No, because the gun, when they cut the gun, it was gone. The gun went right. So it's not once a machine gun, always a machine gun. Once a machine gun, always a machine gun is why DWATs are a thing. This is, if you rebuilt the gun without modifying it, you made a new machine gun. It's not once a machine gun, always a machine gun. Once a
Okay.
machine gun, always a machine gun is just for DWATs.
The results are just the same.
No, because
Your
when it's once a machine
your
gun, always a
trip, your
machine gun,
trip
you
to
had
the
a machine
federal
gun.
magistrate will be just the same.
I mean, it's
when
not
you-
like
do
I've
you-
practiced in
when-
front of them or anything.
No, I no. I get what you're saying, but I'm talking for the common guy that does stuff in his garage. He
Yeah, no,
doesn't
don't
have
just weld
a-
together parts kits. Don't do that. Like, don't just weld them together. But
You won't get out of it under any excuse. You won't get out of it.
Okay, so listen,
Well, why do you
listen.
say that,
So
though?
so hold on a second. Hold on. I think this is like a great opportunity for us to explain stuff to
Yeah.
not me, because I totally
Well,
understand
I'll
everything
explain
going
it.
on here. No, I
I'll-
don't. So listen. So Walt, you're a manufacturer and you've been doing this stuff and for a while, and Matt is a lawyer who's been also practicing here for a while. There's obviously like a massive gray area here, and this is where these things come
no, it's
from,
not gray.
because people
It's not gray.
well, people don't know. So there's lots of people
Yeah,
who
all
have
right,
the
all
same.
right.
This is something you probably find all the time, right, Matt?
Yes.
So we've
And
got to
it's-
break
it's-
it down
it's
to people.
infuriating.
Okay.
So, and like,
Okay,
I
okay,
understand you have a very good faith, and you're 100% good faith, like 100%, and I like you, and I still want to come check out your machines. However, you're just saying nonsense that has been repeated. You have no like, and you shouldn't do that. Like, especially when it comes to things that are that affect your rights and things that are matters of federal law. If you haven't seen it in black and white in front of you, you shouldn't assume it to be gospel. If you want to, and you know what people always say, go talk to a lawyer. Well, this is something that's really weird, and most lawyers are just going to be like, Christ, I don't know. Like, I wouldn't do that, right? Because you're always going to advise your client to stay, if the line's here, you're not going to tell your client, you should stand right here. You're going to tell them, you should go like over here, because guess what? Malpractice, right?
Also, this is not like, so when you're dealing with this kind of law, it's not like if it's not like if you do the right thing and the ATF comes after you, the lawyer's going to go, listen, you only have to pay us if if we win.
If you lose.
No. Like, it's not, you have to pay that lawyer.
First thing, you're not dealing with none of this is 99%. This is not law.
Well, hold on. Yes,
this-
it is. No, actually,
not
no,
a-
you're right. You're right.
It's
Go on.
not officially law. It was not passed by Congress.
Right.
It's not a law.
Yeah.
Now
Yeah,
it's
but I
it's
want to
this
hear you.
regu-
I want to
it's
hear you
this-
go.
It's this regulatory garbage that they say they can do anything they want to you. Like, you can't
Okay.
collect your own rainwater. You can't
Yeah.
collect your own
Right.
rainwater. You know that.
Yeah.
So
Right.
when you go to it, you're going to get 15 different lines and stories, and they're going to keep you in the court. I don't know if you got a couple $100,000, you want to play with it. I don't
Okay,
want to
so
have a couple $100,000.
let's take a step back, because everyone's heard the things you're saying 1,000 times. I agree with you. This is not from law, but it's also not from regulation. The most frustrating thing that gun owners have to deal with is making up nonsense and applying it to ourselves. Because what happens is, we get a regulatory letter, not even a ruling, a letter, an opinion letter.
Oh, I have
and
one. You wanna
then-
see it?
We'll get to that. We'll get
Yeah,
to
You
that.
don't even know about that.
so-
You
No,
don't
yeah,
even
well, no,
get-
we're gonna
you
get
don't
to
even
that.
know
Let's
about that, do you?
yeah, let's
get-
compartmentalize
Well,
this so
I-
that
well,
Matt can
So
make his point.
I've
your letter,
been
your
to
letter.
the
Guess
demo.
what? It has the legal significance of the bubble gum that I chewed earlier. It has nothing. It's meaningless. So you get your letter, and then everyone tries to gleam and pick from it, right? Oh, what were they thinking? What did they mean by this? Well, in reality, I agree with you, Walter. It was just some agent making stuff up, right? They were just making stuff up because they wanted to expand their power as much as it's human nature. It really is. But then the problem is that gun owners will create an emergent orthodoxy to follow without ever an actual ruling, Administrative Procedures Act rulemaking happening, without ever anything happen without ever actually reading the law beyond the sentence that they want to copy and paste into their AR15.com discussion. That's like, to me, that's the biggest source of problems.
But where does that? So let me just interject here for a second. Where does that come from? That comes from fear. No one wants to be the person getting their doors kicked in, you know, with the like getting arrested and dragged out of there and your records, and now you've got to figure out where you're getting $100,000 from to hire the lawyers. So that fear creates like what we're talking about right now.
Right, and that's the thing about the gun community, is that it's an all or nothing game, right? Because everything's a felony, like everything, you know. So it's natural for people to be extremely apprehensive, and it's natural for people to want to be a mile away from the line, right? But we shouldn't ever make up things and say that they're the law, right? We can say, I don't want to mess with that, like, and that's fair. That's 100% fair. Guess how many open bolt semi-autos I've made? None. I don't want to do that.
Oh, so you're not doing that?
No, I don't want to. I don't want to. But well, actually, I think.
Is it because you don't want to be a test case yourself, or?
Well, no. Well, because I think I can make one that they'll approve, just so I can rub it in all of your faces. I'm just.
Oh, okay.
When I get that approved, I'm gonna bring it to your.
No, that would be awesome.
And go,
that would be awesome. If it would be awesome if some,
because no one should want it. It's an awful, terrible thing. But anyway.
Oh, okay.
But just the whole point is, open bolt semi is stupid. It's not good. But why did we make up this orthodoxy? And it came from the Sten. It did. People think that it was, you know, a lot of people attribute it to the Mac 11. It all happened at the same time. And nothing ever actually happened. You can waive your opinion letters wherever you want. We've got all kinds of opinion letters on bump stocks. They're meaningless. Nothing happened with open bolt. I'm not going to mess with it. But why do we have?
So what's the history here? What's the history that you're talking about and Walter's talking about? Remember, I'm not as deep into this as you guys, but now, I mean, it's really interesting to me. So I want to know where where did this come from?
So there's 3 opinion letters, and this is what people always talk to when they say the
when you say opinion, determination letters.
They're opinion letters. I mean, that letters are, and also we changed all of these terminologies recently because it was determined that the ATF was aggressively violating the APA.
Who changed it? Who changed it?
Well, it's been changed like 4 times, right? But Trump administration actually did one of the very pro-gun things they did was actually put a little bit of a noose on ATF.
Okay.
While at the same time, you know, feeding it steroids. But but still, they were non-binding. These 3 letters referred to Sten Mark II, Mac 11, Mac 10, and there was a third one. I can never remember which one it was, but it was some other, you know, Tech 9. These were guns that, all of them, functionally identical to the machine gun, with the addition of a disconnector. And in each gun, the disconnector could be defeated in less than 1 minute with simple hand tools. Okay. And so ATF determined, right, and this is a debt letter, it's not a APA determination, right? This isn't a notice and comment rulemaking. This is the same thing that Rare Breed got, right?
Okay.
It's, hey, we looked at this and this is what we think. And this is, the point of it is, if we were to do a criminal case, this is the argument that we would make. So in all 3 of those, they said, and they mentioned open bolt only in 1 sentence in each one. They mentioned the disconnector multiple times in each one because the disconnector was the focus of the rulemaking.
So that's the easily defeatable thing.
Yes, and because of that, those 3 guns, they just said, hey, these are, you know, blah, blah, blah. So the industry goes, you know what, we don't want to mess with it? Reasonable thing to do. Right?
Okay.
Reasonable thing for
But they never actually went after anyone.
And here's the thing. People always say, if it was made before 1986, you can't do that. The ATF does not have the power to do that. Okay? So what happened at the end of all those letters was this kind of fairy dust sprinkle where they said, oh, but this is what we think now, but we're going to use our discretion
Hmm.
to not enforce this against guns that were made before this date, because it would have been a total nightmare.
Mm-hmm.
It was basically, so this whole practice was, hey, industry, and you are right. People were, people in Miami were buying these guns when they were taking the disconnectors out, right? They wanted to stop that, so they were like, hey, gun industry, can you like make it a little harder? Basically,
Okay.
is what happened. And then we went from there to just, oh, well, what did they mean by this? And I've spoken to, I'm not just blowing it out my backside. I've spoken to multiple special agents within ATF, and they like laugh with me about it. They're like, I don't know where they get that. There's 3 debts, right, on 3 guns. It like, they do not have the power to say open bolt equals machine gun. They have the power to say this gun is a machine gun. But everybody just took it from there, and it was
so basically they created a superstition in the industry that created this fear, and the industry said, don't even go into this zone. This is like,
and also the market didn't want them.
Don't go here. Right, but they never actually went after anyone. But no one wants to be that person that they go after in the first place, because it's like the looming threat that you could be the one they go after, right?
And also, it would be very difficult to design a traditional open bolt. Like everybody, when you talk about open bolt guns, everybody always thinks about, Stens, right? Something like that. It would be very difficult to design one of those that wouldn't be easily defeated, right? And there is nothing in the law that says readily convertible. It's a question of whether it's designed to shoot full auto or not. So it would be very difficult to design a open bolt like submachine gun that was not designed to shoot full auto. I think it can be done. It would defeat all of the reasons to make a gun open bolt, because it would suddenly become incredibly mechanically complex and expensive. And so I think literally the only reason it should be done is to show people, hey,
that it can
you
be done.
Made something up. Like you just made it up. Why'd you make it up? Right?
Yeah, Boss Hog has an interesting thing to say on this, and I'm gonna let Walter make his point after that. But I just think it's interesting. Boss Hog said they sprinkle crack on it, and I think that's interesting because maybe they were looking at these in that time frame, right?
They got some from the CIA.
Right. Yeah. So Walt, what were you gonna say, Walt? Did you forget?
No, well, no. You said no one's ever gotten in trouble for open bolt. That's not true. Manufacturers maybe not licensed manufacturers, but there's been lots of individuals that have been busted for machine gun stuff and open bolts.
Right,
stuff.
for having machine guns, right?
Building Mac 10s and stuff like that. Even
that
Sten
were
guns.
machine
They've
guns.
got right, correct. They've got people for that. And that's a machine gun. Okay, we'll say that.
They made machine guns, right? No, so have you heard of a person who was busted for somebody who like endeavored desperately to make a semi-automatic only firearm, put a 16-inch barrel on it, and all this stuff? Like, if you know of one of those, I'd be happy to pull the case up right now because I want to see it.
I don't think anyone was crazy enough to.
Hang on. Hang on. Slow down a little bit. Closed bolt?
No.
Open.
I don't like. Look, no.
You didn't specify. So an open bolt, 16-inch barrel. Is that what you're saying?
So if I'm saying, and there's multiple parts to this, right? Because then we have to go into a whole thing about how NFA
it gets into
violations...
all kinds of weird little situations. What ifs?
Well, no.
I don't personally like to play what if myself, because what if could cost a lot of money.
That's fine, and like that's why you and I haven't made them, right? Like that's why we don't make them. Because we don't want to mess with it.
Bump stocks and let's say whatever triggers, binary triggers, all that stuff. 3 or 4 determinations says it's all good. One day it's not good.
Yeah.
Overnight it's not good. So there were okay, if you don't know what happened to me, I make a 50 caliber bolt action upper. Okay?
I know. I've shot it.
Goes on top of an AR-15. In 2018, I got a letter that says you might want to submit one of these for determination. Now I've been making them since 2003. There's like 4 other people got the same letter I did that made 50 calibers. Only 50 cal people got this stuff. Hadn't heard a word from ATF since 2003. I heard a rumor that in like 2007, this kind of went up the food chain in ATF and it died. They didn't pursue it, going after the thing. So I sent one in for determination. I knew what was going to happen. I went to D.C. with Adam Kraut and
Josh
and his
Prince.
Yeah, Josh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Went into the den of the wolves, right into
Right.
the building. Had a meeting with Marvin Wagner and all the little, their little friends.
Yeah.
It was a waste of time, complete waste of time. It was a waste of money, complete waste of time. They knew what they were going to do. They're going to do it anyways. They said the upper's a firearm because it has characteristics similar to a bolt-action rifle. Now, in their 12-page letter, determination, they also told me that my lower was a firearm, and my lowers have always been marked, single-shot lowers.
Mhm.
But there's some wording in there that's very suspect and could probably be taken to a court of law. But I don't have 150 or 200 grand to hand over to the legal staff to fight it, just to find out maybe I don't win anyways. So, that's where it ended. Now,
Yeah.
the lawyers asked ATF, well, what about all those? And there's a few thousand of mine out there at least,
Mhm.
and not including all the other ones out there. What are they supposed to do with all those? No word, nothing.
Right.
No response, no nothing. So,
Because they just wanted you to stop because they had a hard on for you for some reason,
well,
and you know it.
And
They've been
they
using-
had the power to make that happen.
they
Well, but no, they
yeah,
knew-
right,
You know why they didn't go after him?
Mm-hmm.
Because they knew they'd lose. They wanted you to stop making them, and they got exactly what they
If
wanted. And
they-
everything
Well,
you did was reasonable.
They would lose.
Everything you did
They
was
would lose.
reasonable.
They would lose under these circumstances if someone was kamikaze about it, and that person was like, "Hey, I'm gonna fight this till the end."
Yes.
But
Yeah,
typically,
I
the mom and pop
Yeah.
store like Walter, he's not a big manufacturer.
No,
doesn't
yeah.
make or
Walter's
sell
not gonna
enough of
fight it.
those to fight it. Yeah.
But
So
I
what's their
still
risk?
make
They
them.
don't
I
have
just,
any risk.
I just serial number them
Yeah.
now.
Exactly,
So-
but if they went after thousands of people, their risk goes up.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
So
yeah, because
and I mean, you acted very rationally. You acted 100% logically. You did.
I should have just, as soon as I got the letter, just started serial number and saved the money to Adam and company. Now,
So,
I
those
mean,
let
guys
me-
you would have
did
still
not-
had to talk to
So
them,
let me
like, you know.
let me interject this for a second, okay? Clint Sanders says sounds like Matt is speaking legally, and Walt's talking about real world. And I think the thing, see, this is why I do this podcast. This is like an awesome subject that we're on right now, because I think for me, knowing Matt for a little while, this is exactly how his brain works, and this is how I want my lawyer's brain to work. How Matt's brain works. Like
I had
there,
this- I
you know,
thought- I thought-
that's the way it's supposed to be. And on the flip side of that, Walter has to think like, how do I keep feeding my family?
100%.
and
there's also-
yeah.
Walter has been nothing but logical. You've been nothing but reasonable about everything you've said. But the only thing that you're saying is unreasonable is you asserting that the law is something that it's not, and you asserting an incorrect interpretation of the law. Like, I mean, it's not reasonable to do that. It's what's reasonable to say is someone in your situation is, I've got a family, I don't want to mess with it. And that's stupid reasonable. That's the most reasonable thing you could ever say. But don't say
And-
that's the law when you don't know what
Well,
the law is.
It's
Sorry,
not,
brother,
like,
but-
once again, it's not the law, but it's
No. Okay, so you're doing
It's how
this. You're moving the goalposts, right? You're going from this is
It-
a regulation, but I know these people that have been prosecuted for making open bolt semis. No, you don't. It didn't happen. And then you're like, but now we're back to here where my unrelated upper thing. That doesn't like the law and how NFA violations work and how violations of the GCA work. They have to be prosecuted a certain way. And you know what? What they do? They go after working class Americans. Because when you go after working class Americans and when you go after poor and minority Americans, exactly like you said, they don't have the money to put up a competent legal defense. And I think that's one of the most disgusting things about the entire gun market is they can get these rulings, right? And they can get these cases and they're never reported because guess what? When you go after a poor person, they don't appeal. Your case isn't reported. It's never cited anywhere. So nonsense happens. You can plea out to whatever and they'll get a win, right? A win. But it doesn't count. You can't cite that in the Seventh Circuit. You can't cite it in the 11th Circuit.
If you're the person person that this is acting upon, if you're the person or the company that it's acting upon, it's very real. So, like, I understand, like, we're talking semantics, but if you're the person that these guys are actually bullying, it's a very real thing, you know.
For sure.
But
it'll ruin your life.
Yeah, but at the same time, I think, and this is, correct me if I'm wrong here, the point that you're making, Matt, is that we got to fight all of this, because if we let it go, it just gets worse. And
Well,
it's
that's
effectively, even though it's not real, it's effectively real because it creates this big boogeyman in our brains. We're like, oh wait, we can't do this. We can't go down that path.
Thank you for saying that. Thank you for pointing that out. I didn't mean to say it like it's not real to those people. I meant
it is
because
real. When they shut your business down and they confiscate all your stuff.
Okay, that's not related to the
that's
original
real.
thing we were talking
That's
about.
real.
Well,
that happens.
Right. That's that's a non sequitur.
I have a friend who's in the gun business.
The guy said Matt's thinking legally. He's right. I was speaking in terms of what is real in the law, right? If some of this crap happens to you, it's the realest thing. Because I've had clients, I've had to represent people, and they are scared, and they get so scared to the point where they're like, listen, they don't even care about. Well, no, they don't even care about right or wrong anymore. They're like, just get me out of here. Right.
You just want out.
And I've had to, they just want out. They don't care what happens anymore, and it's devastating, right? Because and then my oath that I take, when they say I want out, and I know I can beat the case, but I can get them out, and it's going to be an L. I gotta get them out, right? And it's really devastating, but that we have to be super clear about things, though, and especially those of us who are in the public eye, we have a duty to not talk nonsense. We have to speak the truth, all right? And the truth is, when it comes to the specific point of discussion that we had, and trust me, I've read in depth about your 50 cal situation, and you know what, Walt, I wish that we had been friends at that time, because I would have been scratching at your door saying, let me do it for free, because what happened to you was BS.
You can still fight it, right? Or is it too late to fight that?
It would be awkward. Maybe we'll talk about it. I don't know, but that's it would be awkward now. It would be awkward.
Okay.
But anyway, like, yeah, no, I'm with you, man. It's about making sure, and for me, I've got to make sure my client is safe, right? So when I advise my client what to do, I don't ever tell them to go up to the edge. I tell them, here's where the line is. Stay away from it. But when I'm talking about what the law is, what the courts have said, I'm not going to K&M Arms, great point. Total nonsense.
He says this whole thing happened to Tommy Built with the G36. ATF went after them.
But did they?
They?
No, they didn't. See, they didn't push too hard. They did it just right. They're surgeons at ATF, right? They do this. They get you right to the point where you're about to break, and then they let go, right?
This is true. I can't argue what you're saying.
They didn't make not a single criminal push, because guess what? In the criminal context, your burdens of proof are up here. You need to prove that the person knowingly and intentionally violated the law every step of the way. That's why you can't think of any cases on that OP thing, because they don't want to do that. So that's what they're going to do. They're going to push, and they're going to knead, and they're going to get to the point where they see the crack, and then they're going to step back, right? And that's what they did with the Tommy Built. The Tommy Built was a perfect thing, because guess what? It was a niche gun. You know exactly where all those guns are. You know, you only make, a matter of thousands of them.
So let me just interject this in the middle of in the middle of what you guys are saying. A lot of times when we have, and I'm like wearing their hat right here, Franklin Armory, right?
Yeah, I love them.
Okay, so Franklin Armory, and they sponsor me and everything. Full disclosure before I say this. These guys spend a lot of money fighting the ATF. And, when I talk to Jay is almost like, I'm like, this guy's almost fearless, right? Because we're talking serious money that they're putting to fight these things. And he has the ability to do that. And I think it comes genuinely, in my opinion, from like a belief that he has inside of him. But also an ability to write the checks.
Right.
Okay,
you can have all the fight in the world in you, but if you can't pay for that fight,
this is the conundrum. This is where things come together here, and a lot of people always complain to me about Franklin Armory, like, why does this thing cost this? Why does this? And I'm like, dude, this is one of the few companies that's out there actually fighting all of this and going all the way. And I completely get where I'm not in Walter's position, but we're friends, and I know how that whole thing made him feel.
I would have done exactly what Walter did. I'm just going to say that 100%. I would have done exactly what you did if I was in your position. No doubt.
I just it's just like, you got to think about it. I mean, also the whole distress of everything, it can kill you. You know, it
Yes.
can end your life early over
Yeah.
over something that what are you doing this for? Why you? I mean, especially like my wife and stuff. She don't like that kind of crap. So
Right.
uh,
No,
Because
they
no
don't want
one
you to
look
stick with you.
everyone always talks shit, right? Like when we're like, oh, I don't care, the ATF could come arrest me.
Yeah.
But where's
Yeah,
the
you
man
don't care,
when you say, like, have you ever seen in the movies where they're like, okay, there's a whole line of dudes and they're like, okay, let the person who wants to volunteer step forward, and everyone steps back.
I wish
You
I
know.
could tell you about a guy that I was representing that was that guy, completely fearless. I mean, but I've also seen people who are that guy out on the streets, and then when they get bagged, it's a different story.
Yeah, man.
You know, and it's BS. It is. It's total BS because it's like I'm saying, they are going to target smaller businesses, and we see what they do. They're going to target the individual, like if they, so like let's say they decide
They didn't go
Let's-
after Remington or
right,
you know, or
But
any
let's
of the
say
big
imagine,
boys in
let's
that
make
thing.
believe. Let's make believe I make a gun and I call it the you know, just call it gun Y. All right? And I make a bunch of gun Ys. And there's something a little bit weird about it, right? Let's say my company is the biggest and most powerful company, right? It's got all the money. They're not going to go after me because they know I'm going to tie them up in court and hang them. You know,
got lawyers
so what
on
are they going to
staff.
do? They're going to go right. So they're going to go and look through my customer list. And do you think they're going to go to the people in, you know, living in you know,
In
the
Beverly
good side
Hills?
of Miami,
Yeah,
right?
right.
No, or do you think they're going to go to Overtown?
Yeah.
They're going to go to the guy that they're going to get it.
Point of least
Confession top.
resistance, man. It's like
Yep.
physics. Point of least resistance. That's what these
Yep.
bastards do. And they have
And that's
our
the worst
money
part of it.
to pay for the lawyers for them to do it to people. Because
And
it's
that's
all
what the
about
worst
getting
part of it
it's
is.
it's
Yeah.
this is the reason why, and this is probably a little bit of a side thing, but this is the reason why I don't like Giuliani, for example. Because growing up in New York, this is how Giuliani made his bones. By going after people. I'm 100% aware of this. And actually live through it. So this is just a strategy that these guys use. You want to get ahead, you need to get conviction. Oh, someone, wait, your dog didn't like me talking about Giuliani. He was like, "What?
I have two corgis now, so it's
That's fighting words, you bastard." Yeah,
somebody was at the door.
yeah. But you know, this is such a tough thing, man. I don't really like. What do we do about this? Because they know this, and there's no. What's the solution here? Like, how do
Well,
we?
Well, why don't you
Part-
say it while I calm my dogs down?
Okay,
Part
go
of,
ahead, Walt.
part of the problem is the politicized ATF. That's the problem. It's not. Back in a few years ago, I never heard from them about anything, besides the compliance thing every once in a while. But I think what happened, part of what drove this was there was a bank robbery. There's been some bank robberies in Brazil.
In Brazil,
and some of the,
yeah.
the drug cartel people with uppers in Mexico, and I think those folks complained a little bit. And I have a feeling that's part of it. But the funny part is, they went after 50 cal guys, but there were people making 338 Lapua uppers. There's these competition. There's been for years competition bolt action upper type arrangements. They never got. Nobody else got bothered. Nobody else
Yep.
got bothered except
No, they had
the
a hard
four-
on for 50.
Well,
That's what-
yeah,
that's all
yeah.
it
I mean,
was.
and yeah.
There's people who I've spoken to in the industry that don't like what happened to you, Walt. But what does that mean? At the end of the day, you were the guy up there writing the check and having to
Well,
deal with
and-
it.
and another
But
thing,
people are
too-
worried about where does that go next? Where do they take
Well-
that to next?
Well, luckily, there's no precedent for it. That's binding, right? They can point to what
There-
happened, but it wouldn't hold up in court. So that's
and they're wording it. Their wording in their determination had some stuff that said basically it doesn't matter what we, whether, and yes, you smile if you read it, you'll go, holy fuck.
That's
we can get
double.
these
That's
guys.
double.
Well,
Triple speak.
I've read a lot of them. I've read a lot of them.
Yeah,
I get
and it's
really
and it's
triggered.
like,
Yeah.
what do you mean it doesn't matter? You know,
Yeah. Yeah, no, they'll say like, you know, I've even read things where the whole focal point was like they don't even mention a single mechanical characteristics. They said based on my understanding of firearms, is what they say. I've seen that. You know,
Yeah.
like you think you had it bad, man. You should see. I wish I could show you the ones I've seen.
Yeah, I'll see if
I do.
maybe Walter can send you his. I don't know if you've
Well,
seen
but
his or
no,
not.
You know, Walt, I do. You know, I got a little aggressive with you, but I do want you to know I really
No,
do
that's
like
all right.
you.
I get it. I get where you're coming from. I mean, no, I know.
I want to come hang out. I hope you'll let me.
No, we're not afraid of aggressive conversations here, man. There's a reason, Matt, why believe it or not, I would have you come sit in on this every day, but you don't have time for that. Because I think we need to, like, your kind of energy we need, right? We need to know, like, hey, this is where the line is, and, you know, and people need to be careful about saying this thing. Oh, boy. These are your kids?
This is the baby. This is Rose.
Oh.
Say hi.
Nothing to say right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's good. She's quiet.
Yeah. You know, I mean, honestly, look, it's a tough thing, man, and I think that it happens unless you actually go through that. Like, I actually went through that as a kid growing up. Before I even got like my green card here in America, I was actually framed by these cops in New York City, where they threw vials of crack under my feet to frame me, and then the prosecutors tried to get me. They were like, "Listen, you'll just do like 6 months
Cop a deal.
in Rikers." Yeah. And I was
That's
like, "There's no way."
Oh.
Yeah, I said, "There's no
big
way in
deal.
hell I'm not gonna do it." I was too afraid of getting prison raped to like agree to that. I was like, I will fight that to the end.
That's a real fear.
You know,
that's
but
why
that was me as a kid without, like,
Yeah.
you know, all the responsibilities of having employees and all this kind of stuff.
Right,
you know,
right.
so
Yeah.
it pisses me off.
If you want to ask me what we can do to fix it, we got to talk about it. That's the thing. We got to talk loud and proud about it. Like, and that's why I get really pissed when people tell me it's the law. It's illegal to make an open bolt gun. I'm like, show me. And then I always say, I'll give you $1,000, and no one's gotten $1,000 yet. And everybody sent me those. I've seen the same 8 links. If you're going to show me any of them, I've seen them. You're not getting $1,000 until you actually show me in black and white where it says that. All right. Oh, and by the way, this is dated 9/7/2021, in case they change the law tomorrow.
Such a lawyer. Such a lawyer.
Just for you.
Dinosaur Fossil Hunting of Massachusetts wants a rewind on the whole Safety Harbor 50 thing. You probably, if you jog back a little bit in this video, Walter did break it down and explain it, and I think we have some videos or snippets at least where we talked about it.
Yeah.
But I don't want to waste having Matt here and then not talk about other stuff. Go ahead, Walter.
Yeah, yeah. Don't. No. I mean, it's frustrating, but you know what? It just drives me more to want to make stuff that I don't have to deal with them. So.
This is how the terrorists win.
Regulation drives innovation, though, and to an extent.
No, here part of you know what I worried about when I got my letter, and I thought that they were working towards AR-15 uppers also, you know, trying to get rid of that. But in their letter, it says because of the fact that it's manually operated, it's okay. It's bad. If it was operated from the gas of the gun, it would not be a problem. So you can build a semi-auto 50 caliber upper that works from the gas of the gun, and it's cool. But if it's bolt action, oh no, bad juju on them. So,
do you want to know why they did that?
Yeah, the good question, Matt.
There's
Answer your question.
Stupid thing that ATF has pretended distinguishes the AR-15 lower, and it is the buffer tower. That is what they are. That is what they've fixated on, and that's why
holding on to.
That's what they've been holding on to. But the real reason was because they had a proto-sexual fixation with full auto, and so they wanted to get the part that could be, you know.
So explain that. Why the buffer tower? What do we
so it was made up in reverse. So here's what happened: is they had the M16. They knew all about the M16. They claimed they didn't, but there's document evidence where they knew all about the AR-15 and the M16, and they knew that the distinguishing characteristic would be the lower. Okay, and so they wanted to make the lower the firearm. They recognized at that point that it did not meet the regulatory definition, but they were like, everyone just chill and like roll with it. And so they did. And then they had to, like, as more stuff came out, and they're saying, like, no, that part's the receiver. And it's like, wait, well, hold on. This other part has all the parts the AR-15 has. And so what they'd ultimately say is, well, and they would always hinge on the buffer tower, the fact that the lower holds the recoil spring, which is not a thing that is like on the list of factors, but that's the only difference between an AR lower and a SCAR lower, an AR lower and a B&T APC lower. It's the fact that it holds the, it can house the bolt.
All the other rifles, machine guns, FAL, SCAR, all that stuff. The upper's all the firearm, not the lower.
Yep.
I heard back in the day, this might be simplified, that Armalite put the serial number and stuff on the lower because that was a good place to put it, nice and flat, and just took it that way.
Yep.
And
that's what they did.
So is this why we've seen in some, like, I'm probably going to misquote whatever the case is, but there was a case where a guy was doing like a party or something to finish lowers. Yeah, the build party, and then they went after the guy, but his lawyers contested it, saying this is not even a firearm. So, is that? Are you aware of that case?
ATF. That was where it was going to come down that they were going to have to admit that the lower's not the firearm.
Yeah,
and,
so they just
and that would open up a can of worms bigger than you could imagine, because there's tens of millions of those lowers out there. What are you going to do?
Yeah,
that's happened about a dozen times.
That's one of those cases where ATF backed off. Okay, all right, we won't prosecute the dude, so this doesn't become a whole new thing. Right.
That's happened about a dozen times, and there's a lot of interesting facets to the GCA and the NFA. Like I worked on a case where a guy beat a Mac 10 charge, and it was this wasn't no open bolt semi. This was a Mac 10, right? And it was all based on technicalities, right? In the law, there's a lot of very hyper technical stuff, and what happened was the AR-15 predated the GCA because you didn't have to do any of this stuff, right? Like every CUI in the United States was imported from Canada without a serial number, right? You didn't have to do that. And so the AR was just kind of like that. Like you said, that's what it was. That's where they put the serial number. And back then they were really assembly numbers. They didn't even care if they overlapped, really.
Right.
Yeah, so that's just where it was. And so ATF is like,
Remember the FNC?
Yeah.
Some of the lowers are serial numbered, some of the uppers are serial numbered.
Yep.
So people would get two unserial numbered ones and put it together.
Yep. No, there's all kinds of nonsense that's happened, like early PM63 parts kits where they cut up the slide.
Yeah.
Those are floating around. Now, and a lot of people haven't noticed this, but now they're changing their mind again on the AR-70. Forever. Well, forever, because the AR-70, we considered the upper the firearm.
Okay, right.
And then, if you look at the AR-70, it's kind of similar to the AR-15.
AR-15,
it retains the recoil spring.
And so the magazine and all the fire control parts. Yeah.
All that. And so in their new, in the frame of receiver, they're like, no, this is perfectly consistent. Because, like with the AR-15, the AR-70's lower receiver is the firearm. And it's like, whoa, hold on. And they're just like, that's their position now. And no one knew about it until they put it in their, the frame of receiver definition. Look down where it defines. Yeah, look down where it defines, like, what is the firearm. And it says AR-15 and AR-70 type firearms. How many people just bought a parts kit for an AR-70 for $300 with a lower?
And that would also include.
I'm gonna Google AR-70 right now.
The model before the AR-70 also is the same way, the Beretta.
Yep.
I forget what model that is. Yeah.
Well, there's the 70 and then the 70-90.
Okay. Yeah. 70. Yeah.
Yeah. With the funny magazine.
Yes. Correct.
So, yeah, they said AR-15 and AR-70 type guns. How many AR-70 type guns are there?
Okay.
Why? You can't get any.
Okay, so that's this we're talking about.
Yeah, that's a 70-90.
Okay, that's the later one. Yeah.
Huh. Okay, man.
And that's a gun that doesn't even really exist.
You guys are some deep gun nerds.
But it's just funny because ATF just out of nowhere changes its mind on the receiver while parts kit for this thing are on the market that they just approved the importation of.
What caliber is that?
5.56.
223. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. I don't think I've ever.
It's from Spaghetti World.
I have one of the other
Oh.
ones, the earlier ones. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and then there's
They're
I
pretty
see
slick.
one. I see one with a different. This is like a totally different stock here, on this
No,
one.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, it's probably the
It's
light
like some kind of
machine
light
gun.
support. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Probably a heavier barrel, kind of set up as a light machine gun or something.
Okay,
Yeah,
is that
it's
that's
a juicy barrel.
is that more modern maybe version of it or?
That was
the
the last
90
version of that gun.
Oh,
Yeah, the
Okay.
90 was so yeah, 1990 they were like, "Hey, we should take AR-15 mags." And they just updated
Right.
everything.
you have one of these guns, Walt?
I have the one before, this just straight.
He has the
70.
first gen.
Oh,
Yeah, the
okay.
AR-70.
Not, it's,
Which is much more handsome.
Huh.
I was the first group
Oh, okay. I never. Huh.
that I've had for about 10 years, by the way, or 12 years.
Do you have one of these, Matt? This is.
I have a
interesting.
7090.
You have a 7090. Okay, this is another one here.
That's
this-
Yes,
that's
that's
the one
what-
he has. Yeah.
That's the
Oh.
logo.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
That's the one he
Oh.
allegedly bought, perhaps, maybe once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I noticed Walter's
In
picture.
Minecraft.
After someone was saying Walter needs to adjust the focus. I think that was me. I had a whole bunch of windows
Yeah.
open. I closed them and it got better. I
Now
noticed.
I'm crisp again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's my
I'm
bad
not,
for.
I'm not like blocked out, like so they can't see my
Yeah,
face.
I know, Walter. You have 500 upload or whatever.
I'll check my speed if you want me to
From
brag
there.
a little bit.
So
Yes.
these are very European. Are these expensive?
They're spaghetti guns.
Okay.
As complete
because
rifles, very
Italian.
expensive. Very
Yeah.
expensive.
As complete
Okay.
rifles, they're like 1,500 or $2,000.
Oh, okay.
Easy. Yeah.
Huh.
Easy.
They're kind of cool.
But they came in as
Yeah.
parts kits for like
Really?
$300.
No barrels, no upper
No
receiver.
barrel, no receiver.
So
Yeah.
it's not an easy build on those guns. It's not like
No.
you just go out and buy parts. You got to make stuff to do those guns.
Yeah,
And
K&M
those suckers
says
are all
the-
brazed.
Yeah, K&M says the lower has a full auto and select fire option.
Yeah, I think they're
Yeah.
all burst and auto.
Yeah.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's not. This is not building an AK when you get those parts kits. Anybody can build an AK. Everybody can't build those guns.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
You gotta braze stuff to the upper.
You have-
It's like really.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
It's like building a PE-57, the Swiss gun.
Okay.
It's not for the. It's not for the faint of heart.
So it takes
you built one
serious
of those?
skills. Yeah.
Yeah, it takes skills. Yeah,
Have you built
Yeah.
a P57?
not yet.
Oh, it's a nightmare getting that old receiver out.
You almost got to mill off the pieces to get those. Yeah.
Well, yeah, you
I
gotta
have
get in
a-
there with a mill and cut out the stamped remnants, ever so gently, leaving the forged. It's a total ridiculous nightmare.
How are your
I have a-
your welding skills, Matt?
Dreadful, but I can
Oh, okay.
make 2 pieces of metal one.
Oh, okay, Walter's a pretty
I
good
can do
welder.
it.
Yeah,
Walter's
I can weld.
pretty badass.
I
welder,
can stick
actually.
metal together. Like I just now taught myself to TIG, and you can tell it's a TIG weld. That's all I'll say.
Okay. Yeah, Walter's pretty good at welding. He's pretty good. I'll
Just
give him
practice.
that.
Just
Yeah.
gotta practice.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah, I bought a bunch of those dice. You know, the metal dice.
Metal
The practice
dice.
So they sell them on eBay, and it's you get 6 pieces of steel, and it's dice. Like they got different.
Oh,
holes
you
in
just
them.
flip it.
So
Okay. Mhm.
You sit there and you practice putting all the sides on,
Oh,
and,
okay.
and you know,
Okay.
and it's funny because you mark your first weld, and then you see how much better you got to by the last one.
Have you ever taken like a community college course or something like that? You know?
No,
I've done
would
it.
like
I've
to.
actually done it. The Santa Fe Community College has a course in that, which I've actually done. So
You know what? I should. I would. You know, I really should. I've just like had people, you know, with some beers have been like, hey, can you show me this process now?
yeah, I mean the course didn't teach me shit. I'll be honest.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I did some welding, but I mean
Yeah.
it was like a class of 20 people, so you didn't get. Well, I shouldn't say it didn't teach me anything. I got a good understanding without having to buy all that equipment of what everything could do. Like they have all that stuff there because they have a lot of automotive classes and stuff.
Yeah.
So it was good enough for me to go, yeah, I think I'm going to find someone who's a really good welder.
Yeah. No, I think I made the critical error when I started welding. I started with MIG, and everyone's like, oh, you're screwed.
I mean, even
Everything
even,
else
I've,
is so hard.
Yeah.
I've just been playing with the MIG welder lately. I've had one for a few years and just never used it.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I can TIG weld, but like when you're working on mini bikes and you got to drag the whole frame and set it on the
Yeah.
table and twist and push the pedal, and it's not
Yeah.
easy. The MIG welder just push the thing. But
Yeah.
there's an art to that too. It's not
Yeah.
not as
Yeah.
to get good welds, that is.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean you can get some really, really, really pretty MIG.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
What I really hate is when people post pictures of their welding on the internet and they say, "How's it look?" I just have to. I don't comment on people's welding because I'll be nice. I mean,
Yeah.
I'll just tell you, maybe.
I'm looking right now. So Walter, this is a thing. So one of my biggest video, actually the biggest video I ever did on Instagram. I think it was 175,000 views on Instagram. Instagram literally shadow banned me after this video went up. Walter welded up an AK, and we made it full auto and put a suppressor on it. Yep. And it went viral because everyone was mad because he
want to get hate. You want to get hate. Weld up an AK together.
Oh yeah.
Which
I've got some buddies who did that.
And I've done a few of them. And they work just fine. But you get the hate.
Oh yeah, of course.
People just.
The hate was so strong.
That's gonna blow up. It's like
of course it'll work.
When I bought those parts kits, I paid like $75 for a whole parts.
Here we go. I think I found it. Here we go. So what is this? 175,000 views.
It's an AMD 65.
Yeah. It's just and it was the crappiest receiver I could find. I got it on sale. Like at Centerfire Systems or something, you know.
Yeah. Oh my God, those are so dreadful. You almost have to weld with one of those.
Yeah. I need to find this video and make it a short and put it on. Yeah. So that was like, everyone got mad because this thing is welded, which is crazy. I don't even know. How did they even see that it was welded?
AK guys are really like that.
Yeah, I was like, how do these people even know this thing is welded?
I would rather listen. I would I would take a welded AK as my only AK over having one screw build AK in my collection.
Oh yeah,
screw build.
And nobody turns down a welded HK, do they? Really? I mean, come on. But I get it. At that time, I didn't have the tools, and I didn't have the knowledge for the riveting stuff. So I just weld the $75 kit together with the $35 receiver, and just blast away. And if it breaks, you're out $75. I take it off the NFA, and boom, it's gone. You know?
Yeah, that was awesome. I love that. But that video just went crazy because everyone, and then right after that, blocked, shadow banned.
I have a buddy, Caleb, who welded up and this got everybody super mad, an AK-74 kit, chambered it in 5.56, and then put a AR magwell in it.
Three sins.
Yeah. Oh man,
that's so awesome.
I'll tell you, that sucker shoots though.
Yeah, that sounds. I like the sound of that. I'm not a AK purist like some people.
I kind of am. I kind of am. I wouldn't have one of those myself, but mechanically, right? Because I build guns. I'm looking at it, I'm like, that's gonna hold. That's gonna be fine. Yeah.
Yeah, I like weird shit like that.
There's one AK kit that I welded together that I kind of regret. I wish I wouldn't have. It's a Yugo, the 5.56 Yugo gun, a real military gun. I should have riveted that together. Who knows? In the future, I might take it apart and redo it. I don't know. But I always,
you can always redo it. That's the beautiful thing about them.
And you know what? I like at that one he showed you. I didn't spend any money for it, so it's not like $300 or $400 or $500 parts kit or something. And it wasn't rare. It was a old used
That was the
kit.
most fun I ever had shooting an AK, man. Full auto, suppressed, drum mag.
Yeah.
The only thing that would have been more awesome is if I shot that naked.
Or I don't know about that. But
hell yeah, do it.
Maybe I was thinking dual wielding, two of them.
Oh yeah,
naked.
Yes,
yeah.
Yes, that would be amazing. That'd be amazing.
One thing I built, I've got a post sample PPSH 41, a full size one, and then I had a bunch of parts in a box full of cut up parts that were demilled. So I said, you know what? I'm going to build myself a Russian mafia gun. So I shortened the receiver, I shortened the barrel, I turned the stock into a pistol grip, and that thing is about 12 inches long, the whole gun.
Yeah. I gotta see where. I think I put up a thing of that also went. That was pretty big. Like I think I just put a picture though of that because I remember.
How could you do that? It's like it was cut up anyways.
You know what I used to like doing with the $50 Sten Mark III kits? I like doing vertical mags.
Oh, I've done vert mags, yeah, and shorties. Yeah. I have a vertical short one, that I made from just a bunch of junk parts I had laying around. I call it
They're
the
kinda
junkyard
handy.
dog. It runs fast. It runs like a Mac 10, and
Yep.
it throws the empty straight up.
Yes,
you know,
yeah, like a PPSH.
yeah. It's fun. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing about the PPSH though, is that you can't ever let that be somebody's first sub gun, because then just everything's gonna be boring.
Yeah,
after
after
that.
that, you're like,
Yeah.
that's
I'm
like
trying
shooting a Uzi. Uzi's great, but it's like that. It's like,
Yeah.
okay. That was exciting.
If it's the
First time I
micro
shot-
Uzi, it's awesome.
First time I shot a Thompson, a World War II vintage Thompson, it was the same thing. Oh, that was exciting.
Oh,
boy.
but the first time I shot a 1928, I was
Yeah.
like, this is dreadful, because
Yeah.
I actually like hitting targets.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't see. I'm looking for that PPSH. I know that was a. Here's a picture of it actually. I think this isn't the one that.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh,
that-
it came
oh,
out
it's
so
like-
nice.
Yeah. That's
The,
awesome. That is awesome right there.
The upper pieces that I used were actually from a World War II Russian gun, and
Wow.
it sometimes you build something, it just happens, and it happens perfect.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
And
I
that
know
was
what
one
you
of
mean.
those guns. The force powers were with me that day when I made that thing. It was just like, it's just, yeah, it runs.
Yeah, there's another picture or something. I remember putting up a picture that everyone was reposting, and I was mad because it was getting like reposted and going viral. And
And he wasn't getting any credit for it.
No, I wasn't. I was so
I
mad.
hate not
Oh.
getting credit.
Yeah.
Some people complained about me making that short little PPS 41 too. I'm like,
Oh. Yeah.
Everyone's gonna be mad.
it was scrappy parts. I mean, it wasn't anything special. It was all cut up, you know.
Yeah,
I wouldn't
it
do
was.
that.
It was probably the receiver sections you had left over, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't do that with a
Oh,
with
here's
a-
Walter
with a-
shooting that
kit.
thing. Oh yeah.
Oh, that looks nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that with a saw cut parts kit or anything. You know,
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
You know, back in the day when you used to be able to buy a parts kit in about half an hour, you'd have it back together as post samples. So.
Yeah. But I mean, like I bought a bunch of PPS 43 kits. The Bowman had a sale,
Yeah.
and you know what I'm gonna do with them? I'm gonna cut it up into slices and make one nice one. And then now
Right.
you've given me inspiration. Maybe that's
Yeah.
what I'll do.
I've been wanting to do a shorty 43. I've been thinking about that actually. doing
Well, that's
a
the
short
perfect
43.
excuse. You get the 3-pack, you cut up the perfect slices, you make them all line up, and then you take
I happen to know somebody that's got receiver sections. I'm just
Uh-oh.
happen to know somebody.
Do you know somebody who has VZ61 sections?
No, I don't. No.
Oh, I need some.
No.
Yeah.
Okay,
Before you-
this
before-
is
go ahead.
something I've wanted to ask you badly.
Mm-hmm.
I've always looked at your Galil flat set. What the hell do you do with it?
Back in
Like,
the
do
day,
you weld in
and we're-
rails,
and we're-
or do you
we're-
put it around
We're
the
talking.
build
We're
kit?
still talking assault weapon ban time. This is dating myself here. Obviously, there were no. I didn't have the shekels to buy a Galil, so I said, but I had a nice parts kit that had the stubs for the front and back of the receiver. So I'm thinking, let's see here. If we mill that down front and back, and have some laser cut pieces and weld it all together, you can build a Galil. Well, sure enough, I did it. Once again, that's not something for the AK builder, because they don't have. You gotta machine down the trunnions, and those things are hard as a rock.
Yeah.
So it takes some knowledge to do it. Plus, you got to weld decent. If you can't, I tell people, if you can't TIG weld, don't even try this stuff. You're gonna make a mess. So, but it works.
So you do you take all the sections. You take all the cut sections, deck them, and then
You basically
weld that
turn
over.
if you get now the way they cut the receivers, they cut through the barrel lugs, the locking lugs for the bolt head.
Except
So
on
you
the
gotta
Bowman
make sure-
kits.
Oh, okay. Well, if you got good demilled front and rear piece, you can use those and machine them down and make trunnions out of them. So,
Okay.
and then we're
That's
gonna
what I
use it-
thought,
we're
but
gonna
I
use-
wasn't
we're-
sure.
I'm going to use a bad word here. We're going to weld it all together. And, but no, it's
Is this
it
some
works.
kind of
It's just-
kit that you sell, Walter?
Yeah.
I don't have
Oh.
any. I don't have any right now. I don't think. I
Oh,
think
okay.
No, I think they're on your
I
website.
read-
I was looking at them last week.
Okay. I know I don't have any AK ones right now. I used to do it for AK too.
You probably just have them
I
left
just-
over for the Galil, I guess.
Yeah, AK receivers are so cheap. I mean, I get why people want to make it where it's, they make their own gun, But for $39-$49 for a receiver, I don't know if it's worth all the effort. Okay, you got to sign the piece of paper and you got to do all that stuff, but
Yeah.
really, I don't know.
I'll tell you something.
But
I built a lot of AKs. I've never bent a receiver. I just buy the receiver.
That was one of the first. I went to an old school build party one time, and back when they still had build parties, and I actually, I didn't do the bending, but I was helping people TIG weld stuff, and it was fun. It's kind of like, I
mean, I've bent HK receivers, but I look at the AK receiver and like it's like $40-$50. Like I'm just gonna buy it.
Yeah, why bother with it? It's like.
Yeah.
If you like making stuff, if I need to, do I need to take you off the screen for a second, Walt? Yeah.
If I could touch a gun, I'd show you. Show you one of my AK builds, but.
You can send me a picture, Walt. You're not on the screen right now. You can send me a picture.
Let me see if I can.
Yeah. While Walter is doing that, I'm gonna show off something here for a second, Matt.
Okay.
Before you guys get too deep into your very nerdy conversation, which I'm enjoying.
Yeah.
Not complaining.
I'm
enjoying it. So listen. So TUSC Firearms Crypto sponsors us. I don't know if you're aware of TUSC. If you know what TUSC
I know 'em.
Crypto is. So the other day, this company APM 80. That's the website. Okay, they made an 80% blower, and I talked about it here on the show. And actually, I think it's Alex, what is it? Alex Precision Machine, something like that's the name of the company. So check it out. I got these in, picked them up. Let's see, can I get this to focus? Come on, camera, focus. Let's see if I can. I don't know if I can get it to focus here, really. Actually, let me see if I can get it to focus in on that. There you go. Check that out.
Wow.
So I got the TUSC.
It's got an elephant on it.
Yeah, it's got the that's the TUSC logo. So they only made 25 of them, so it's not serialized or anything like that.
So you're hogging it.
Yeah, they made 25 of them. I ordered a couple. Walter has not a firearm.
Oh no, that's an airsoft gun.
Yeah. So anyway, Walter's taking pictures. So I got these in. They look really good. Obviously you got to do a little bit of thing here. Do you get a lot of questions about 80%ers and stuff like that?
Nope.
No.
Not anymore.
No FUDs to bust over there. No FUD
there's
myths
plenty.
or anything like that.
But it's just, I think everybody's a little concerned about where things are going to go. I was getting a lot more questions 5 months ago, but as
you
of
were?
late, not really. Yeah.
What are you getting most of your questions about these days?
Rare breed.
Rare breed. Okay, so tell us a little bit about rare breed here while I take a look at these photos from Walt.
So are you familiar with the force reset trigger?
Yes. I didn't get a chance to shoot it. I don't know if Walter did or you got a chance to actually shoot them, but I've seen videos and things like that.
I've shot a bunch of them.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the one that's super smooth binary trigger?
That's the one. In the videos, it sounded. I don't know if they did anything to the videos, but it sounded really nice.
I have a customer that has one. He showed me a video of him shooting it, and I was like going,
"Oh, you haven't shot it yet?"
No, I haven't. Yeah, I definitely haven't. No.
The customer's gun was like, "Holy cow, that's really fast." I mean, that's
So what?
I don't want to say machine gun, but go ahead.
Well,
go ahead,
it's really
Pat.
fascinating because it's all a wire EDM cut trigger, which. That's been something that people have wanted to do, but it's really hard to get the geometry right. Well, if you design it the way that these guys did, you can do it. And so what it is it's a very, short single stage trigger. And what happens is when the bolt comes into battery, it whacks your finger off of the trigger, basically. Like it forces a reset.
Huh.
And so it's hard to describe how it works, but shooting it, if you want to shoot it fast, it's kind of like a rhythm where you gotta it whacks you off and you pull it back. It whacks you off, right?
Yeah.
It pushes your finger
So
forward,
it's kind of like a dance.
Yeah,
Almost
you're doing
like
a
a
dance.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're doing the forbidden dance.
Right.
And rare breed is, and it's run by another Florida lawyer. The guy's out in Orlando. Really nice guy. I talked to him a couple times.
Okay.
And he. That's a lawyer who designed this trigger specifically not to be a machine gun, right? Like he was sitting there looking at the law and did it to the T. and of course people get them and they like post videos and they're like calling it, they're calling it a machine gun, this and that, and so naturally it's just like we were talking about earlier, like what what Walter was saying. They feel like they're getting spat on, so they feel like they got to do something. They send Rare Breed a cease and desist, and Rare Breed immediately files a lawsuit to enjoin them from doing this. Which slick, right? Cool. That's the kind of stuff we want to see. The thing that I'm afraid of, though, is that they might go downstream and try to find somebody with one, because that's a whole different, like we were talking about before. If they find a working class gentleman, right, who's got one of these things, it's a whole different ballgame.
Or it gets used in a crime.
Well, that's easy, right? Because the judge is like, that's an easy one.
Yeah, but there's no is there anything like that out there where it's been used in a crime? I mean, these are expensive triggers to get your hands on right now in the first place.
It's like a $400 dealie.
I think it's been going for. I think it's been going for more than that, but that's what their set price is, right?
I heard stories of people buying them for that 400 and taking them gun show and sell them for 1,000.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's America.
Which I'm not gonna hate on anyone for that.
I'm about it.
Yeah.
Although
with ATF freaking out, I would not want to be at the gun show selling anything right now.
Yeah.
And that's coming from me. So.
Yeah, how would ATF go about even trying to find people that bought those? Did they get any records and any of this stuff going on?
Well, so that's the whole point of the lawsuit, is that he's trying to enjoin them from doing it.
From getting.
But here's the thing, man. Your credit card company's gonna squeal like a pig the moment they ask.
They're gonna turn over. They're gonna roll over. Yeah.
They don't even blink. That's the deal. That's the issue. Is that, like, yeah, this company could be awesome, but if you pay with your credit card, I mean, sure, there's evidentiary problems, right? It's still hard for them. It would still be better if they got the records, the sales records. But that's the big thing. They literally are just going to go, hey, Visa. And Visa's going to go, here. Here's all of them.
Okay.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we're seeing a lot of that, which really sucks. So where do you...
That's what happened with the auto key card.
Yeah. Where do you think this is going to go?
So I did a video on it. And to spoil the ending of my own anime, I say one of two ways. I say either the government plays fair, fights it out with Rare Breed in court, and win or lose. It's honestly, in the court it's at, it is, I would call it 50-50.
Okay.
Just, I think it's unfortunate. I think Rare Breed is on the law. I think they're 100% right. I also think that bump stocks were very clearly not machine guns, and we know what happened there.
3 approvals later. 3 approvals.
Yeah,
I think it was
we
3
know.
approvals
Yeah,
later. Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, all the approvals and stuff, and when you're at the Fifth Circuit, which is allegedly on your corner, they're going, bending over backwards, like breaking their spine, invoking Chevron deference when it wasn't asked for. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah. M. Gabriel says, what does he say here? Wide open trigger advert just showed up on YouTube. Showed up today on YouTube.
So that's a equivalent trigger.
Oh, okay. Huh.
That's a 2-stage version, I think.
Okay. All right. And Thankus Lupus the Salty said just buy with a Walmart card. Everything's trackable if they really want to track stuff.
Yeah, but I mean,
they can track.
Make it harder for them.
Yeah, and
take your $1,000 bill and go to the gun shop.
Yeah, here's the pictures that Walter sent earlier today, not just now.
Right.
So there we go. There's the stock.
Oh, that's one of your flat builds.
Yeah.
That was AK flats built with a.
So this is probably the part you want to see.
Yeah, people are gonna cry. That was a Hungarian milled receiver kit.
Wow. That's what I got on the wall behind me.
But at the time, those things were like $65 or something for the whole kit. Right. So it's like,
okay.
But it's all welded. That was actually I actually assembled that during the before the assault button expired.
No, you didn't.
Okay.
But look at all the American parts on it. The stock's American.
Yeah.
The receiver's American.
So,
the muzzle brake's American. Yeah, I mean everything. I made all those parts.
Yeah. Yeah.
just to prove I could do
Well, we all-
it. So.
Have you ever seen Have you ever seen There's a joke that we nerds like to tell it like SHOT Show or whatever. Is when because the guys are always talking about 922R, and I'm like, oh, so I see you guys invested in your compliance kit, and they go, you mean the U and the S stamp?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
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 I know, man. It's
that's another
Yeah, that's
one.
a Hungarian. That's a
Yeah.
Hungarian.
Oh, hold on. Let me show.
Oh,
Let me show
okay.
that right there. Yeah, right behind
Yep.
you.
Yeah, I tell you
Right
what,
behind
you can't beat my opinion, milled receiver, AK, old school is the way. That's
Oh, I'm with you, man.
Yeah.
I'm an AK guy. I love AKs, and my favorite AK is the 74. But if I'm gonna shoot 7.62, I take that one every time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm with you, man. I'm with you. I think Brandon Herrera just put out a video. I didn't see it. Like 7.62.
Oh, is that the
versus
is that the
545?
AK dude?
Yes.
Yeah.
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 The
Do you know?
Kalashnikov boy.
Yeah. Do you know Brandon?
Right.
He loves bullpups, which is an amazing thing. He wants
Yeah.
everyone to make a bullpup and name it after him.
Yeah.
That's the way you got to go. His favorite bullpup is probably that Zip 22 you got behind you on the wall.
Oh my God! Oh, let me tell you something.
Mhm.
Everybody was bitching about that Zip 22.
Right.
Everybody like, and people would be like,
I would never trust this guy. He's got a Zip 22 in the background.
I bought the gun as a joke.
Mhm.
I have taken this thing to the range, and it has not missed a beat.
Really?
I did buy it off of somebody who was a known tinkerer, right?
Oh, okay. That's what I was going to
don't-
say. Yours must have been fixed.
Well, I don't
It's
know
been-
what he did.
It's been accurized. Or
Yeah, because the
Just
one I
runs.
have does not work.
Mine, and I've got all the accessories. I got all of them,
Okay.
and it just runs. Like I took it out to get video of like making fun of it, but it just runs.
Interesting.
So
you need to make a brace for it. That's what
Yeah, we need to see. We need to reverse engineer that. I
Well,
mean,
I've got a
I
bunch of
get
3D
whatever.
printers here. We can do something.
Yeah, I get whatever bullpups I can get my hands on. Except like I want a what is that AR? What is the one I want, Walter? The arm pistol. The arm pistol.
Arm
Walter
pistol,
has
yeah,
I've
one.
got one of
arm
those.
pistol.
You got one? Ah,
So do I.
damn
I
it.
can let you borrow it if you want.
No, I want my own arm
He-
pistol.
He wants. I know
want
someone
my own-
has one, and I see this guy every once in a while, and I say, "Hey, still got your arm pistol? Yeah. You still want to sell it? Yeah, maybe. You want to trade for something? Oh, well,
Yeah.
Hank,
Yeah.
does Hank still want it?
So this.
I said,
this
yeah,
is-
he does. He still wants it, but you guys got to talk. You know, I don't like to be
no,
the
no,
middleman.
Walt, you're right there with the guy. Make a deal with the guy. Give the guy
Go
what the
get
guy
it.
wants, and I will work it out with you.
Yeah, give him some Sten parts.
Yeah, come on,
No, he
Walter.
don't want no sting parts.
Make it happen, and I
You know-
will work it out with you.
What,
it's a
what I got
dreadful
from
gun.
him, it's one of the guns that nobody really wants, but I want to. I got
Oh.
a Bushmaster rifle from him. The Bushmaster rifle.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
think
The
I saw you.
M17.
Not the AR type gun, but the one
Yeah.
that they made that was their gun, the Bushmaster.
The
So-
Are you talking about
M17.
the M17.
No, you're talking about
No,
the one
not a
that Ken.
bullpup.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Ken has one of those original ones because Ken from K&M Arms, I think, is the only guy who fixes those in the country right now. I don't know if he's still
Well-
out there in the.
The bullpup. You're talking about the bullpup.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
the
love
M17.
that gun. That's
Yeah.
What I
that,
have is not the
the
bullpup.
M17 is my favorite bullpup, and I've got a lot of bullpups. I love that gun.
yeah. I don't have the original M17, but I have the one that Ken makes from K&M Arms. It's awesome.
Oh, Ken threatened to fix the trigger on my F2000. I got to take him up on that.
Oh wait, hold on. Is he making a trigger kit for enough?
He said if I sent it to him, he could make it better.
Really? When did this happen?
I was shooting it yesterday. This is
Oh.
a couple shows ago. He put up in the chat. that Matt
Oh,
sent me
okay.
that
When you were on
information.
here. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ken would probably know about that. Yes. Was it
Yeah,
Ken?
he said he could make the F2000. The K&M guy. You were saying Ken. I just copied you. I've
Yeah.
never met him.
Yeah. I think if we're talking about the same person, it would be Ken from K&M Arms.
Yeah.
Yeah, he makes the he makes his version of
The
that
new
like
M17.
Yeah, the M17S. Have you ever messed
Yeah.
around with those? That's got an awesome.
I
trigger.
want one. I do. I want one really bad. I want one in 308 really, really bad, but I have never gotten the opportunity to even touch one.
Really? Okay.
Yeah,
I've got
so if you're
one.
listening, let me touch it.
I have one here. So one of these days, you come over, shoot with us on the range or something.
Yeah.
I've got one here. Yeah, I've
Yeah,
got.
but I want one.
I know how that goes.
Well,
Yes.
you bring your Bushmaster. You bring your
My
arm pistol. I bring my arm pistol, and Hank can
You
dual wield the
bastards.
arm pistol.
Yeah,
That would be fun,
Is your arm
actually.
pistol top charging or side charging?
That's a good question. I know
Mine's
I
a
did
top
both.
charging. Yeah.
I'd have
It'd be
to pull
cool
it
if we
out and
had
show
each
you.
type.
Then
I feel like it's side. I want to say side from what I remember, but
The side
yeah,
charging
it's-
one's the better gun.
I think it is side. That's what I remember. Is the top charging one one of the first ones that went out? Is that like an earlier version of it?
they
I
had.
think so.
So
they
that
had
might be
all
the more
kinds of different
collectible
little
one.
versions.
Yeah.
No, I think they're all just as collectible because like Walt was saying, it's kind of like early Barretts where every month they messed with it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I want one of
Depending
those.
on whatever parts they had, they threw it in the gun and made something. It's like
Yeah, mine's got a modeled M16A1 pistol grip, which I'm told was there when the gun was bought. You know, most of them have A2 grips, but they might have just had it, an A1 grip laying there.
I think my grip actually says Bushmaster on it. I have to check and see.
grip?
I have to pull it
Okay.
out.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Yeah, those are cool
I'm
guns.
trying
I
to
think
find
those.
this Bushmaster rifle you're talking about. Are you talking
Yeah, the
about the
Bushmaster.
like
It's called the Bushmaster Assault Rifle 5.56.
Bushmaster assault rifle. Hold on.
That was
Yeah,
its
I'm gonna
name.
Look this up.
It's basically the
Oh,
arm
got
pistol
it?
Yeah.
journal.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that thing.
it's an arm
It's
pistol
like
with a barrel.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
a
yeah.
stock.
It's a long arm pistol or like a drunk AR-18.
Yeah.
It's
I have an
AR-18 at home.
Wait, okay, hold on. Is it? Are we talking?
It's literally AR-18.
Are we talking
at
about
home.
this right here?
Yeah, that one. Yeah,
Is that not AR-18 at home?
and look at that evil lower too.
Yeah. That's,
Oh, yeah,
that's
look at that.
repulsive.
Evil
Interesting.
lower.
Where's the serial number on that sucker?
Interesting.
And I have the nickel-plated one too, which is
Yeah.
like the marine coat version or something. That wouldn't have been my
I've got
first choice, but
I've got a nickel-plated high point .995.
oh,
What?
no. Wait a minute.
Yeah,
I'd
these
show
are-
you if I could, but I got a high point
Yeah.
45 right in front of me here.
Really?
But I can't go to. Yeah.
Yeah.
I had
Yeah.
to have one. I had to have one high point. That's all it was. I had to have one.
Everybody should have a high point, without a doubt.
I've got a
Actually, I have
couple.
two. Actually.
Yeah.
Well, if you count the 3D printed ones, I have three. A 380,
So
a
check
45,
that out
and a
there.
9mm.
That's the lower on that. You know what I have? Do you guys have? Oh, I think Walter probably has one. Do you have a Daewoo Max 2? I got one of those.
Oh, you
You know what
do?
that is? Daewoo Max 2. Yeah.
I don't have a Max 2. I just got. I forget what model. Mine was a band gun, so it's
Yeah.
Oh, a DR 300 or 200?
yeah, probably. I took off the
Yeah.
funky thumbhole stocks and put right.
I had
on.
one of those. I had one just like you had with the thumb hole stock, and man, I loved that gun so much. It shot so well, but I couldn't stomach the stock, so I got rid of it.
Yeah,
I couldn't stomach
bought,
it.
I think from Ace, the company was at the time. Ace made an
Yeah.
adapter. Yeah.
They had the folding adapter. Yeah.
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 They were supposed to put out a modernized version of that.
The Korean Army has a modernized version of that.
Yeah, but remember the Daewoo pistol? I think it was coming out
Yeah, the
in
K-
Lion something.
Isn't that the K2?
Lion Heart. Do you know what I'm talking
Oh, no,
about?
the K2 is the standard rifle. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. It's the you can smack the hammer forward and stuff.
Yeah, I know Mac has a bunch of videos of those. I think it's. Remember, there's a pistol that was developed. The Koreans
There's
had
the K5.
came from the same company. I'm trying to remember if I had one. I can't remember. I think maybe in the past I had one, but I had to sell it or something like that happened. But that company was able to bring the pistol version here, but the rifle that they were supposed to bring here, they were never able to actually bring.
That's
if
only
you want to
one-
see
one-
something, look up the Daewoo K7. That
Daewoo K7. Hold on, let me see.
that I need. It is the unholy stepchild of a Daewoo K2 and an MP5.
Wait, what? Oh, that's interesting.
That's slick.
Yeah, I like that. Are we talking about this right here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Is that a suppressor?
Compressor,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh. So those never came over here, right?
They're still using them.
Not. He was asking if they were brought here. Not
Yeah,
really.
did they
Oh.
come here?
No, I mean the only time we'll ever see him is eventually as parts kits.
So when I put my Daewoo Max 2 video out there, you know why it went big? Because people from the what's it called? ROC? Republic of
South
Korea?
Korea?
Yeah, South Korean army were looking at that video for some reason.
Oh, really?
Yeah. For some reason, like I think someone was like, "Oh, they use this in training."
So you don't have one anymore, Hank?
I do. I still have mine.
Okay.
Because
I
I
have
bought
two
mine.
of those.
I bought mine for like $300 from a guy who took it to the gun shop where I bought it, and sold it for nothing. And then a friend of mine that worked there knew that I liked weird guns, and he was
Yeah.
like, "Oh, you might like this, kind of like an AK/AR type of deal." And I bought it, and I've run into that guy since then, and he's like, "Well, that's my gun," you know. Which I hit him with one of Matt's things, like, "No, sir, that is not your gun." That is not your gun. That's
my gun.
yeah, exactly. The same thing happened. I have an AK-74 545 bullpup. That
Yeah, you've told me about that.
Yeah, Century Arms sold it. So I think it was a kit that Century Arms brought and put together, and then they sold these. And I've met people who said that they typically didn't work, but mine had no. Because I remember my friend Peter Palmer that was on Top Shot actually looked at mine. He had one, and he looked at mine. He was like, "I can't believe everything in this one is perfect." Because most of them were messed up, and people had to fix them and everything.
The
But
company that
Wait,
made
with a
the
Century
bullpup
gun?
kit,
yeah, go ahead, Walt.
they used to sell them as
Mm-hmm.
the stock as a kit, and you put it on your gun. And I guess Century just wanted. Probably what happened is Century probably bought what they had left of those kits. I have a feeling.
Right,
They just
yeah.
built guns on it from misfit AKs that didn't have good stocks and things like
Yeah.
that. You know.
Cracked wood or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's probably what they did.
Yeah,
That's
so
what I would have done.
mine is in pretty good shape, and actually I remember one time there was a guy from oh, actually, here it goes. Here's the video that I have of it. Let me see if I can get this video.
Matt, have
So
you
here's
ever shot
here's my video that I have on that. Let's see if I can get it to play here. Oh, hold on, there's a commercial. Okay,
Matt, have you ever
after the
ever
commercial,
shot a Swedish K?
I have not. I have not shot a Swedish K.
There we go. Look, check that out. So
Oh, yeah, yes, that thing.
this guy was actually trying to get this from me so that they could melt it down. I was like, "There's no way in hell."
Wait, who?
Someone from Century Arms was trying to buy it back from me so that they can destroy it, and I was like, "Yeah, that's never gonna happen."
Why?
Because they didn't like them being out there, I guess, because there were problems with them. But mine has had like zero problems, so
I want to shoot it.
yeah. So this is like a
Hey.
old. This is an old video.
Who's that skinny guy?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know. That's some old. I'm surprised that guy's even putting that magazine in the right way. That's probably like the fifth. That's probably like the fifth take. I'm trying to put in that. I'm trying to put that in there. But yeah, man, I love that gun. By the way, I just don't shoot it that much because of ammo. I don't want to. You know.
Yeah, I have never shot a Swedish K, and I know that that's
Mhm.
and you know
Oh.
what? I would love to fix that because every time somebody I go talking about subguns, I start like getting all excited about the Sterling and stuff, and they're like,
Oh.
right, but you shot a Swedish K, right? And I'm like, no,
Mhm.
I've shot an M76 a lot.
Hank,
Mhm.
find the video of Lola shooting the Swedish K.
Oh, Swedish K. Hold on.
That gun, it goes dot 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 and doesn't move. I mean, you could.
Is it a
I
lot like the
understand what-
M76?
Yeah, it looks like that. Yeah, but it's.
Did we
Yeah.
call it Did we call it Swedish K in the video? Probably
mine
not.
is Mine is an Egyptian version. It's a Port Said
Oh,
or Port Said. Is that the way it's spelled?
Oh, is that what we called it? And
It might have.
yeah,
But yeah, I understand why the SEALs liked it. I really do.
that's one
yeah,
of those.
I gotta try one. That's for sure. That's I'm not you're not a complete gun guy if you haven't shot one. I don't think.
That's one of those videos that's going to be tough for me to find because we probably
okay.
hid the name in something. You know what I mean? Like in the.
You know what I've been doing the past couple minutes?
Mhm.
Trying to find Daewoo's.
I don't know if there's a lot of them out there, but they're awesome, man.
There's
If you
not.
find one, yeah, if you find one,
I need another one, man. You just reminded me.
yeah.
And there's two and they're the collapsible stock ones, and you know that those are going to go for, 3 arms and a leg.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, mine is the polymer folding.
Yeah, you got the
folding.
KT, you got the OG. That's the one I want. Like, that's the sweet one.
Even there's someone, I'm trying to remember who it is. Someone has a standing offer to buy that bullpup AK-74 that I have actually.
Really?
Yeah, if I ever sell it, I think it's that. It's either that or the Daewoo. I know that. So Max Cameraman, Jason.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's like, yeah. When you sell that, it has to be sold to me. But, that's never gonna happen. Unfortunately.
Yeah, I've got a lot of friends that I have deals like that, and it's easy to make those deals when it's a gun that you love. Right? Like, yeah, man, absolutely.
Yeah, it's easy to make it when you know you're never gonna sell it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Every now and then, Lola tries to ask me. She's like, "What's up with this thing?" I'm like, "It's gonna stay right there. It's gonna do."
Oh, you mean my gun?
Yeah. So I know that the 74 Lola. So I have one of those big sardine. The sardine cans of ammo.
Mm-hmm.
And Lola, he hates that can because 1, I won't open it, and 2, that has fallen on her ankle one time.
You only have one sardine can?
That's the only one I got left. I'm not opening that one. It has to be the Apocalypse.
Yeah.
Then
you gotta keep a few cans of 7N6 around.
Yeah.
I just bought. It was actually right when I saw what was gonna happen, like before the news broke on that stuff. I was like, let me just buy up all the Tula 545 real quick.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, of course, I didn't buy all of it, right? I bought a couple thousand rounds.
Yeah. I think I only take mine out when Walter comes and he's got 545.
Well, that's the thing is for me, 545 is my main caliber.
Oh,
like that. Yeah. When I go out and shoot, I shoot 545.
Really? Okay, so you have a lot then.
Well, I mean, I've got some cans that I don't want to open.
Right, exactly.
And that's the tough thing. Now I'm gonna have to shoot. I kind of made fun of myself when I bought a couple 556 AKs, but now I'm like, oh well.
Yeah.
Kind of glad I have these.
Yeah. There's gonna be, I don't know, man. It's gonna be interesting to see what happens. I don't know if anyone here, because most of like you were talking about American manufacturers, most of them are making expensive stuff. When it comes, they're not
gonna save us. It's gonna
they're not gonna mess.
They're not gonna save us.
It's not worth it.
It's gonna be other Eastern European people.
Yeah. We'll get it in from some of those guys. You know what? We hit 9 o'clock, so which is I think I could keep going here, but at some point Lola's gonna say, okay, you guys have messed around for long enough. But this
stop
is
playing
actually
with the Daewoo.
Yeah.
That's what Lola said.
Yeah. When you're invited to come out here sometime, man, and we'll do something. And
dude, we gotta make it happen. I'm gonna be living there soon, hopefully.
Yeah.
Or closer.
You're gonna be living closer?
Oh.
Okay. Yeah. And remember, just show up at Safety Harbor Firearms now whenever you want to. Yeah.
I was told that it's really slick back there, and there's all kinds of cool stuff.
Yeah. You owe Walter one free consultation.
I'll let you touch my Swedish K.
Yeah. If I put up that snippet of you and Walter fighting and it goes viral.
It was fun though.
I'm gonna have zero regrets. I'm gonna be the person in there like I'm gonna make multiple different accounts and just troll that whole thing.
Zero regrets.
Yeah, no regrets.
No, that was a lot of fun, and I'm sure it was entertaining for the audience.
No, absolutely, it was fun. So here's
but Walter, you say you don't have anything cool. I've just got a lowly 3-axis CNC mill, so just your Sten tube machine is gonna impress you.
Yeah, you might never get rid of him, Walter, once he comes to visit. Yeah,
I'll let you touch my unfinished Sten tubes if you want.
Yeah, but
the 40-foot tubes.
Do you?
No, I have some. Well,
do you barter legal fees?
Yes.
He said yes.
Stuff right now.
Yeah, hopefully you don't. But he just said yes, Walter. I just heard him say yes.
All right, I'll keep it in mind. But
yes,
hopefully I don't need any.
Yeah. That's always better.
Yeah, I don't know if the ATF is watching.
My last compliance thing was the weirdest one ever, and it was the shortest one ever. And I'm not complaining, but it was just it was weirdly short.
Huh.
And
But correct me if I'm
and-
wrong. Since you had that issue, they get you every year, right?
Last
Okay,
time I had a
you don't want
compliance thing, I had some paperwork issues
Mm-hmm.
and they didn't like that, and it took months to get the compliance. He'd show up and work for a couple hours and come back a week later and work for a couple
Mm-hmm.
more hours, and you didn't know when he was going to show up, which is another thing I don't like. I think
Mm-hmm.
they just have this way of interrupting your life whenever they feel like it.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And the world comes to a standstill, and at least mine did when he showed up. You got to kind of, but this last time
Babysit
was
him.
like a breeze, and I was like, really, we're done? And
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, good, have a nice day.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't
No,
question it.
That's how
Yeah.
mine have been. The
Mhm.
IOI.
Yeah,
is
I mean,
really.
she looked at my paperwork. My paperwork was cool, and there wasn't any mistakes, and it was like, I think we're good. And I'm like, really?
Have a nice day.
Yay!
Have a nice day.
Hey, don't go in that closet.
Yeah.
The funny part is, and we'll want to stretch it out too much longer. I made an effort to drag everything out to show her and everything, and I was like, really, like, let's look over the NFA stuff, and we just did a number. She counted how many were there, and it was the same number in the book. She didn't look at the serial numbers or anything. I'm like, we're all done? Yeah, I saw it. It's good. I'm like, okay.
Don't question it.
No, I didn't. I
Yeah.
didn't.
On the advice of your not lawyer, I would say
Nope. Have a nice day.
keep it moving. Keep it moving.
Lady.
Keep it
Have a
moving.
nice day.
Listen, I think we got to do this. We got to do this a little bit more often. I like this combination because you and Matt actually know what you're talking about, and then that gives
little
me
bit.
me a chance to like pretend that I know and Google stuff and look it up. So I personally appreciate that kind of stuff going on. And Matt actually apparently actually shops at Safety Harbor Firearms. He's not.
Well,
I just want to. I gave you like a bunch of money recently, actually.
Oh.
Oh well.
Well, 'cause who else is selling all
You're
that?
worthy. You're worthy.
Well, I mean, like I said, I bought a bunch of PPS3 kits and stuff, and I was like, well, I don't want to mess with cutting all that stuff out.
Have you? You mentioned. We can keep talking here forever. You mentioned Bowman. Have you ever been to his place?
No, because I moved back to Florida after the current world event started, and he says
Yeah.
no visits anymore.
Okay,
I
I've
wanna
never
go
been to his place either. They called and asked about stuff when they were importing all those 43 kits,
Yeah.
asking about different things, and they were bringing in like 3,000 or 4,000 of them or something like that, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh shit, I
Yeah.
need some of that. I need some of that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh well.
We need to. We'll plan a get together. Let me do this. We'll start with Walter. Walter, tell the folks out there what you're doing, where they can find all your stuff. Of course, you got to mention StenParts.com. So.
Of course, yeah. Well, there's StenParts.com for all your Sten parts needs and miscellaneous other stuff. Check it out. It's on the internet. Safety Harbor Firearms on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. The mini bike stuff, Dirtfoot Racing, same thing. YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. There's also SafetyHarborFirearms.com. There's actually a Dirtfoot Racing web page up right now. If you go to open it and it doesn't open, just refresh and it should open up. But that's the little issues we're working through.
Okay.
But that's the main ways you can get a hold of us. Yeah.
All right, awesome. And then Matt, tell the folks out there how they can communicate with you. All the different ways they can support you.
Right on. You could go on my YouTube channel. It's Fudd Busters, FUDD Busters, where we talk about gun law and current events in this space. I am supported there by people on Patreon, which is awesome, and you can get certain benefits by going on there. And if you are interested in purchasing any wind chimes or other novelties, you can go to my web zone, which is www.maf-arms.com.
Okay, coat hangers and stuff like that. I'm assuming that you've
What?
got up there. Coat hangers, I said.
No, wind
Oh.
chime.
Wind chimes. Wind
Real
chimes.
Wind chimes.
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely. It's awesome. So listen, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to run in the end, then I'm going to come back, and Matt, I'm going to nominate you to leave us with the words of wisdom. I'll let you get the last word here as we go out. Flying Rich says mower death. Walt, you forgot mower death.
Yeah,
Big-
death.
Yeah.
Yeah, we haven't posted anything new lately, but stay tuned. At some point, I will.
Yeah.
So.
Big shout out to everyone there. Big thanks to TUSC Firearms Crypto. We'll be back tomorrow. I'm going to run in the end. We're going to come back, and Matt's going to hit us with the words of wisdom. Here we go. Here goes the end. All right, guys, thanks so much for hanging out with us here. Make sure you smash those thumbs ups and ring the bell. We're going to rip the audio out of this, throw it up on iTunes and all your favorite places to listen to audio podcasts from. So Matt Larosiere, big thanks to you, and Walter Keller of Safety Harbor Firearms. Matt is from Fuddbusters. And Matt, words of wisdom, man.
Talking nonsense is man's only privilege that distinguishes him from all other organisms.
Okay, I like it. It sounds like me. I thought you were gonna say talking nonsense is what Hank Strange does every day. But
true.
yes, absolutely. That's what separates the men from the beasts.
Lions
right.
don't talk nonsense. They just eat.
Absolutely, they do. Big thanks,
No
Matt.
foreplay.
Yes, it's been a fun show. Stay right there, Matt. Stay right there, Walter. We're out of here, guys. We'll see you tomorrow. Peace.